What's going on, Internet? The Black Okage here, aka TBH. And to be honest, welcome back to the Game and Illuminati podcast. We are the Enlightened Gamers, and things are looking live for episode 135. And the reason being is we're finally on camera. There was a lot of people, they didn't want to do it. I said, come on, guys, let's get on camera. They didn't want to listen to me, but we finally made it. We're doing our thing. If you want to check it out at youtube.com/GI updates. If you're watching the video version of the show at youtube.com/GI updates, know we're also available in audio form on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and other major podcast platforms. Be sure to rate the show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. We need your 5 stars to move up that algorithm and bring in new potential listeners. Now, with all the promo out of the way, allow me to introduce you to my co-host, the first of which was accused in the comments of barely contributing anything to the previous show. So for this show, we're going to need at least 25% from this guy since there's 4 people on this episode. Ethos, say what up to the people.
I didn't even know they were saying that in the comment section, but what's up, everybody? JG, we're not going to let this man slide with what he said, so I'm going to let you set the record straight when he introduces
Oh,
him.
I got him.
All right.
It was, by the way, it was only one person who said it, but
Okay, that's what I thought. I'd be surprised. I was like,
but it still made me laugh. And my second co-host, he might be a little bit hard to see on camera, seeing as he has a giant cranium that will occupy 99% of the frame. UTX at Megamind the Don. Say what up to the people.
Yo, was good. And just once again, this guy, he just loves to lie. Like, TBH just loves to lie. I have been trying to get these guys on cam for like 2-3 years because I knew that this was the next natural progression. But let him tell it. He was the mastermind. You know, he was on TV and stuff, so he's just like, oh, I'm a natural on camera. But we should have been done this. I'm so glad that this guy has finally taken it upon himself to lie to the people and say that it was his idea to get us on camera. But
this is the third episode.
This is the new age of the GI podcast. We're going all in, baby. Let's go.
This man sounded like a pimp. He sounded like Andrew Tate right now. I got OnlyFans, get him on camera.
No,
like, bro, get the fuck out of here.
We're not red pilling. Chill out, bro.
Which, by the way, yeah, we got new. If you're listening to the audio version, there should be new artwork uploaded as well as like new artwork on the YouTube channel. And then we're gonna have like TikToks rolling out. I deleted everything off the TikTok. Nobody was watching it anyway, and now it's gonna be focused more around the actual podcast and uploading highlights and promoting that and trying to grow it because the views on the podcast have been doing really good. So make sure to follow us on TikTok at GI Updates. We need y'all help on that one. But yeah, let's get into it. We got one more person to introduce. He is the guest of today. Today, we're joined by YouTuber, Twitch streamer, and longtime supporter, Woozilla. Allow me to let y'all meet the Woo.
How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Woozilla. Longtime supporter is, a big ass statement because I've been watching these dudes since I was in high school. Wow.
Stop. Please.
Every time he do this every time he throws. Every single time, bro.
But here's the thing, though. I'm knocking on 30, so like I get it, but it's still like nuts or whatever. Like it's an honor and a pleasure to be up on here with you guys. Long time support. I love what y'all doing. Y'all actually inspired me to actually end up doing YouTube and Twitch and things like that. So yeah, help your boy get to 1K on YouTube. I'm pretty close by now. So yeah, that's all I got to say right now. Let's get to talk some games.
What's your YouTube?
YouTube.com/Woozilla.
All one word. I have a link in the description box below, which, by the way, you bringing up the age is really funny because we were actually talking about that in the group chat. I told somebody that he was pushing 40 and he's like, I ain't pushing 40. I'm like, yeah, we all are. Because he was talking about people still arguing on the internet over video games and it's kind of pathetic. But anyway.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, let's hop into the leading conversation. Since the last podcast, we've had a lot of video games drop. We had a bunch last time, but then we weren't able to get to some of the other ones. One of the biggest games to drop this year was actually Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. For those of you unaware, this Modern Warfare 2 is actually not it's a remake. It's not a remaster. I was about to stumble over that. This is a remake of the Modern Warfare 2 that came out in 2009. It released with the multiplayer and the campaign. The campaign actually came out like a week early, and then a week after, I think next week is when Warzone comes out. So maybe next podcast we'll actually talk about Warzone. But for now, let's just kind of get into the single player as well as the multiplayer. I'm curious to hear what's everybody's first impressions of Modern Warfare 2. So I mean, you're a guest, Woo. How you feeling about the new Modern Warfare 2?
Now,
and what platform you play on?
I play on PS5 because the Modern Warfare 2019 blue screened my PC, and I couldn't go for it no more after that. No, this PC costs me way too much money to play a game that's not optimized. I'm good. Now, can I do like spoilers or anything? Because I beat this game already.
Okay,
I haven't played it, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't care. Do y'all care?
I care. Don't spoil it.
I kind of care only because I have
you
heard.
Yeah.
You called it in my life.
No, it's because I have heard from like casual people that this actual campaign is good. And I was surprised because I'm like, yeah, I actually played the single player. I remember there was a point in time where, you know, I thought that Activision was going to just not do campaigns anymore. So I'm like, wow, like y'all actually played it and they said it's really good. So
Black Ops 3 is when I started.
I kind of care.
Okay, so I'll dance around a little bit. All I will say is the campaign in of itself is not the typical bam, bam, blow up, you know, Michael Bay type thing or whatever. While there are explosions, it's not to the degree to where you can't follow the story. Like the story's actually cohesive, where it's not like you go here, protect this person over here, then go shoot this, and you go, you know, tamper with this. It all follows like a good story that you keep up with and actually keeps you engaged and interested in. As well as there's actually stealth missions. So all of us in here played the original MW2. So you remember All Gillied Up? Was it All Gillied Up? Or was that MW1?
Yeah, that was the stealth mission where you had to sneak around, was it Chernobyl with the ghillie suit?
Yeah, so they have a mission like that, but this one is like more tactical to where you can go around just sniping without being seen to complete it, or you can go in guns blazing. So it gives you like the two options without necessarily penalizing you for it.
Wait, you're telling me Call of Duty has actually allowed player choice now in the campaign? You can actually... Wow.
There's only one aspect of it, like one specific part where you're sneaking, where the game intentionally screws you over a little bit to where you kind of have to, you know, go a little bit guns blazing, but like the majority of the time you can basically choose. There's also missions where you have to like craft items and do stuff like that. Like they actually got busy with the campaign, and it's shocked me because I did like the original MW 2019 one because I thought it was interesting, but this one took it to another level, and it actually has fan service. So once y'all beat the actual campaign, you'll know what I'm talking about. But you know,
what do you mean by that?
Talk about like from 2019, like you're talking about.
They got big titty waifus.
I'm talking about MW2 level like fan service where like you'll hear names that reoccur or certain missions.
Oh, they got naked soap. He dropped
the soap. They do stuff like that.
Get him out of here, bro.
But as for the multiplayer, I'm not gonna lie, I love it. I got so sick of the movement and whatnot. If I wanted extreme movement, I'd play Apex. If I wanted to watch somebody jump around, do crazy stuff, I could play Destiny or Warframe for that matter. But the movement and COD is what killed it for like a lot of casual people, me included, content creator. Not, I'm a casual. I don't play games to sweat all damn day. I got better things to do. I make videos and stream. But the multiplayer, like they took out the movement. Granted, it's still kind of fast, like as far as like sprinting and sliding goes, but you can't slide cancel. All people are doing now is YYing, jumping around, just looking around with their controller and whatnot. But it's enjoyable. It's primarily gun on gun, and people are complaining about it because they're like, it's more campy. It depends on who you're playing with and what lobbies you get into, because I've been in plenty of lobbies, people are just running around because people are just camo grinding right now. I mean, all in all, like this is probably my favorite COD. The biggest issue that I have with this game is the connectivity. Because if you try to join with your friends, for the life of me and all of my people, it takes 10 years because it'll say connecting and you won't connect. So you have to basically exit out the lobby, invite everybody, then join the lobby again. It's irritating. They need to fix the connectivity in this game. And the TTK is inconsistent because you'll put 3 rounds into somebody who's head glitching. They'll put 2 rounds in you and you die and they somehow live. So they need to do something about that. But all in all, this is probably my favorite COD since Black Ops 3. It's been that long.
Yeah, when the beta came out, I played it on the PS5 and like I didn't like it. Like I didn't like the way it feels. But although I don't even know if it's fair to judge it because I realized playing from the Elgato screen, it was making my shit lag. So like I was playing handicap the entire time. So like, and I'm not gonna buy the game again to find out how it feels on controller. But on PC, when it does work, because day one it was very much a struggle. It didn't blue screen my joint like the first one, but it does crash a lot. When it does work, it's buttery smooth, and I gotta agree with Wu. Like this might be one of my favorite CODs that I've played in a while. Maybe since Black Ops 3. I feel like that's the last Call of Duty that I really enjoyed. The gunplay, the mechanics just feel really smooth. It just feels right. My only complaint is the actual maps. They're very inconsistent. There's maybe like only like 2 maps that I like, but the rest of them, I'm just like,
Get that border map out of here.
I feel like we're all at a point where we're all just kind of waiting for them to drop the remasters of the original Modern Warfare 2 maps, bro. But like mechanically, this game is sound. There's a ton of things to unlock, and like I was like, oh man, I might actually be grinding this game. And then on top of that, the community is alive, man. You hopped in the game, bro. Just I'm getting called the N-word left and right. I love that shit, bro. I love the toxic shit. What about you, Jay?
Didn't they lose?
Yeah.
maps?
I gotta admit that Call of Duty got me. They got me back. I was not expecting to enjoy this game, and I actually would have to disagree with you, TBH, about the maps, because 2019 MDub had some of the worst maps ever. I can actually tolerate these stock maps that they came out with. Yes, there are a couple of maps like the border map. Everybody's talking about that one. The map where they have the school and it just all broken buildings, all destroyed buildings, like Tarkov or something.
The desert
map,
one.
Yeah, that map is bad too. So I can, if there are two maps that are pretty bad compared to the rest of them, then I'm cool with that. I think that these maps are actually tolerable. The one problem that apparently Activision is doing though is they apparently did not get permission for some of these actual real life locations that they did, and so some maps have already been taken out. Like the museum map, I didn't even get to play it. Like I played it in the beta, but they already took that map off. The hotel map might go away because apparently they're mad at them too, and apparently the racetrack map might go away. So it's about to be pretty bad for them if we already are down 3 maps and all of them are actually pretty good. So that's gonna be one of my main issues if Activision end up messing up and didn't get the actual permission. But I think that everything else, like TBH was talking about the toxicity, I actually like it. Like I'll be sitting there going in on some of these dudes. So that's still there. I think the community aspect too, like playing with all the people in the Discord, playing with Siggy, playing with all the GI people, like it did kind of bring me back. Like I kind of almost feel like I did with Halo Infinite, before that game died in like 2 weeks. But I was kind of like almost getting the same feeling that I did playing the original Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. I think the community aspect, just hopping on, playing some games, talking shit with everybody. I think that, that's one of the main reasons why I'm, just loving the multiplayer and continuously playing. And then I'm going to get into single player too, because I play a single player before multiplayer, but I just hop straight into the multiplayer. But I think it's good, man. I'm actually, very surprised that I, am enjoying it as much as I am. But it's good, and the camo grind is pretty dope, and the gun grind. I like the way that they switched it up and kind of like forcing you to play with every single gun in order to get the things that you really want. So they made some, small and subtle changes, but I think one of the main things for me is just the maps that they're at least tolerable before we get the some of the original maps.
I forgot that they were removing maps due to copyright issues, not getting permission using certain people's actual specific places. So I would actually be worried that some of these maps might further get removed, because isn't there like some type of forest map, and like Nomad lives in the middle of nowhere, like the forest, so like his house might show up, and then we might have to remove that one too, the dirt road or some shit. But anyways, Ethos,
you can never be serious, Ethos, never, bro.
Shut the fuck up, yo, Ethos. What do you think of Call of Duty, bro?
I knew it was going somewhere. I was waiting for it. I was like,
no, it wasn't. Just keep it in real. Just keep it in real.
Wrong as hell.
I'm sorry, Nomad. I haven't had a chance to buy the game yet because God of War came out around the same time. I believe it or not, I've been sick.
You don't want to play it on your Steam Deck?
I've been sick. I can't play it on Steam Deck because you can only play it on Windows, and so for whatever reason they haven't, done the anti-cheat to work with Linux yet, so I can't play multiplayer. I can play the single player, but I can't play multi on it. So I haven't had a chance to play it yet. But from when I played the beta, I did enjoy it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I do agree. I think this is the most fun, at least the beta wise. That was the most amount of fun I played since. Yeah, I agree with Woo. Like Black Ops 3, because I remember we all played Black Ops 3. We were having a lot of fun. So yeah, that was the last time I think I had like a lot of fun.
I didn't know you were sick. It's definitely like a bug. Everybody I know is either recently got sick or they're sick right now. That shit is wash your hands.
That's why I haven't been. I caught some crazy and I was in the hospital a little bit. That's why I hadn't been in Discord for the past month.
Oh, Danny got you like that? Sheesh.
Yeah. I have health complications. Yeah, it was not fun. I'll talk about it later. But but yeah, overall though, that's why I haven't had a chance to play the game yet. I kind of been waiting because I've seen people on PC talk about like performance wise, and I've seen like Tony and Benji, a couple of them, like I've seen them just straight up crashing a couple times, and like Holmes was telling me that the game was matchmaking wise.
The friends list didn't even work day one.
Yeah.
Like but I will say they did listen to like a day or two later they dropped a patch. And like now you can invite your friends and play with them, but even still, like Call of Duty is like a multiplayer experience.
You think it should work? Yeah,
it should work. But I'll give them kudos for at least really getting on the problem and fixing it. Like I can appreciate that.
Yeah. So I'll probably show up
the
as
exact same thing. I don't even know if y'all remember like the original.
2019 had the issue.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah,
it literally had the exact same issues. I'm like, damn, like y'all still ain't fixed this. Like, why is it still a thing with this version? I don't get it.
PS5 has the issue where, like, if you're playing with your friends, like after each match, sometimes if you're the host. Well, for one, it'll kick them out. Then at the same time, it'll just lock you. So like you can't move, you can't customize your weapons, you can't do anything. Like you just can't move. You're basically stuck there. And your friends will get into the match, and then you'll join like maybe 2 or 5 seconds later. So it's a lot of little stuff they got to look at and fix. Because
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be waiting. I'll be a Christmas noob, so I'll probably buy the game once Christmas, a little quick sell. I'll
Friday.
On if people are still. Yeah, I mean, if people are still playing it, let's see.
We're still on.
If people are still playing it, then I'll pick it. I'll buy it. Yeah, I'll play it.
So let's pivot the conversation to what are your guys' predictions for Warzone 2? Do you guys think this will be bigger than Warzone? I know some creators have gotten early access to the game. No footage has been leaked online or like shown at all. But between like the hackers and then you got, competition like Apex and Fortnite is still out there. Do y'all think Warzone 2 can make a splash outside? The first week it's going to make a splash because it's the hype. Everybody's going to be on it. But do y'all think it can maintain, or what does it need to do to maintain?
I think it's going to be fine. Like, it was doing fine with Warzone when Apex was out and stuff like the original Warzone was still doing fine. It wasn't like it was not being played anymore. I think the second one, I'm going to go further and say I think the second one's going to be better than the original Warzone experience. I think whatever they've been updating it for and with the Infinity War side stuff, I think it's going to be really good. At least from when I watched the live stream thing in LA, I was like kind of impressed when I was watching them show the quality of life updates they did with the game. I think what you said is it's going to live and die by the anti-cheat, and it seems like it's doing a solid job, but we'll see if it does anymore. I think right now a lot of people are burnt out on the other what are they called, VRs. I think people are sick and tired of Apex now. I think people are starting to tire out on that now. Player count's kind of going down at that point, and I think this might give fresh breath of air for people who are just tired of massive TTKs in their VR experience. So I think people like me and maybe some other people will be excited to hop back in.
I think a lot of people are super excited about Call of Duty, and that is the reason why they recently announced that the game had its biggest sales figures in its history, like the weekend launch at least. They had over 800 million.
Hold on, I'm sorry. What is this title?
Come on!
What is this title?
So hold on. So he was revealing that it's had its biggest launch ever, but then it's an opinion piece, and he was just like, well, I think it's a problem. That what? I was like, what? But the gist of it is, they made 800 million in the first weekend alone off retail sales. That's not even counting the digital sales. So they're saying that this is the biggest launch Call of Duty has ever had. For anybody who's saying that Call of Duty is dead, and we still haven't even gotten Warzone. So this game is booming right now, bigger even than the next Modern Warfare. I was really surprised by that because I did start to feel like Call of Duty has just kind of been existing the last few years, and now it seems like it's back in the conversation. So it's actually genuinely surprising that they were able to pull off this and get these numbers.
I think it's honestly, my take is I think it's the namesake. I think the marketing of it, by marketing it as Modern Warfare 2, it pulled a lot of nostalgia sales, because I think a lot of people who got the game were kind of like, hey, remember we was playing this back in high school, we was throwing off the slurs and stuff like that, we should get this again. So I feel like that's kind of what I think pushed a lot of people, because I remember there's a lot of people who just didn't care for Call of Duty anymore. We're just like, oh, I'm tired of Call of Duty. But they all were like, all right, that Modern Warfare 2, we might have to, hop back on that, one time for the one time. And I think that's why the sales for this game specifically have blown up. Because I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, has it always been every single Call of Duty, pretty much every single year, is bigger than the last one? Or has there actually been a up and down?
I think Vanguard didn't do well, and I think World War II didn't do well, because that was around the time where
that's Sledgehammer. They don't count. They're not real.
I'm just saying, that was around the time when we all. That was next to the whole Xbox what DRM thing. That's when everybody was like, we don't want World War II, and they literally said, we don't give a fuck. You get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess all the Sledgehammer games usually are the decline, and then usually when Treyarch and Infinity War launch theirs, usually that's when it goes back up. So, yeah.
I mean, Ethos, also keep in mind, like, Battlefield didn't do good, Halo came and died, so people were looking for an FPS game, and what's left? Call of Duty. You're going to get it every single year, but this one was actually good. So I think on top of the nostalgia and the namesake of them, remaking or just putting back out Modern Warfare 2, I think that also contributed to it, because the Battlefield was good. Again, I probably would have been extremely hesitant to try out Modern Warfare 2, let alone buy it.
That's a good point.
Hey, Battlefield 2042 just got announced for the Game Pass. Okay, Battlefield's back.
Hey, I just want to hey to give credit where credit is due. Battlefield has actually been doing a good job. The devs have actually been addressing a lot of the issues that they've had, and people thought that EA was going to kill it after a year. They actually announced they're doing another year of it. So they went past their obligation. So I guess EA's not going to let it die. They're actually going to try to No Man's Sky it. And the updates. Hey, I'm just going to say it, TV. I'm going to say it, bro. A lot of people was talking about Halo, but Halo, I don't know where Halo is. At least Battlefield, they actually are fixing their game and actually making it and adding content to it constantly. So I don't know where Halo is. Halo is, you know that meme of the kid with the parrot? And then there's the one that's drowning, and then there's the one that's underwater. Yeah. Like that's literally I would say this is Call of Duty. Battlefield is kind of drowning, and then Halo is just a skeleton under the water at this point.
It's at a point where I'm starting to think that tinfoil hat time, where 343 must have something on Microsoft or something where they're black, because what is their affinity with 343? They fucking suck. They can't make a good Halo game. We're 3. They made 4, 5, and then now Infinite, and then they also do the remaster, the Master.
Oh, and the Master Chief Collection
that
was
shit sucked too. So they've done 4 Halo games. They've all been failures. You guys are destroying literally the franchise that made your platform, bro. It's time to cut ties. I don't think anybody would be mad.
You know what's bad when it was trending? Do you remember it was trending on actual YouTube gaming as number 1, number 2 when they made the announcement that they had to kill split screen co-op online or split screen online when they did that announcement, and literally there was a bunch of YouTube videos that day that went up, and on Twitter it went viral of basically everybody be 343 needs to be fired. It was actually trending on Twitter. 343 needs to be fired. It was that bad. The community is sick of them.
Forge is out now, though. So
no one cares. Nobody cares.
No people do care.
Nobody. Thank you. Nobody. I'm sorry. We don't care. I'm sorry. It's too late. It's way too late.
Supposed to come out day
They said we can make levels. You make some levels.
Yeah. They told you to make levels. It's too late, bro.
That was supposed to be day 1, and I actually played Halo. The cool part is Halo Infinite is actually fun. The problem is you get burnt out within literal seconds.
Too fast. Yeah.
3 games in, you're I'm good.
There's no motivation. What's my goal? To grind and play the game now and
you play the same 3 maps. They have 3 or 4 maps.
The maps are to the same. Forge, don't get me wrong, JG. Forge might do something for the Halo community, but is that really going to get back casual players who dropped the game like us? I'd argue we were all just casually playing it.
Even their E-League has tanked in numbers now.
Bro, I'll never forget. Okay, so you remember when I put on the GI tournament for Halo, and behind the scenes, I was literally y'all don't know, I was literally pulling my hair because of how fucking bad that back-end system for Halo's private games were. Remember, JG, and I got a lot of hate for it, recalling that game because people get crashed out in the middle of the game, servers weren't loading up, people weren't able to join the right lobbies. Bro, it was so terrible. And then I was it's really bad. Your game is a dumpster fire when literally your own esports, on your own esports stage that you're sponsoring, you have the same issues. They had people crashing in the middle of their esports tournaments. It was terrible, man. Yeah. They should be ashamed of themselves. That Halo doesn't deserve that, man.
Let's dial it back to Call of Duty before we pivot.
Oh yeah, that was Halo.
Wait. So are we? You guys just started just destroying them.
Sorry. We
so thumbs up on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Sure.
We're giving it a thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Good job, Infinity Ward.
That get a rare thing.
You get a gold star.
Wait, hold on. Did anybody play that Tarkov mode?
No,
it's out.
No, it's not out yet. It's not out yet.
When does it come out?
It's dropping on the 15th. I'm not mistaken. With season 1, that's when everything's coming.
Warzone, by the way, do I need to buy the game for that? Because I want to play that. I want to try that.
I don't
think
know
that might
about
be.
that one.
I think that might be free to play like Warzone, but I'm unsure. You don't know with Activision at this point.
Hey, but the third person was fire, Ethos. I forgot to mention the third person in Modern Warfare 2 is fire. I'm just saying if they can you do third person in Warzone? That would be fire.
I think there's rumor that you can.
That's gonna be what PUBG should have been.
And that's what no one wants to play because he doesn't like first person stuff, but he said that he wanted to play the third person mode. So
there you have it. So there's your thumbs up on Call of Duty. Since the last podcast, another game that's came out. I think I'm the only person who played this one, so we're probably not going to spend too much time on it. Sonic Frontiers. This is the brand new. Hey. Sonic, okay? Sonic Frontiers is the brand new Sonic game for Sega. Where you got big open world and you get to run around and take down aliens in the cyber world. I bought this game. It came out a day before God of War Ragnarok. I was like, all right, I'm gonna just try it until because it was a God of War waiting room. And first impressions, I played it for like 2 hours. I wasn't enjoying myself. Granted, I'm not a big Sonic fan.
It's got fishing.
Yeah, it's got fishing in it with Big Cat. I just can't. The story of Sonic, man, he's just a fucking cornball to me, dude. I just can't get it, man. Like Tails, Amy, we're going to get straight like Robotnik, man. Like it works in like the movie, although he's not as corny in the movie, but like in the game, it's really bad. The voice acting, there's different voice actors. It's a new Sonic. The guy who Mirage, the guy who voices Mirage in Apex. He voices Sonic in Sonic Frontiers, and you can literally hear it. He's not even doing a different voice, but it sounds weird on Sonic. It sounds like somebody who's doing a bad impression of Mirage. Versus
so it's like Mirage. Like if I close my eyes, I would actually hear Mirage. Basically,
you would hear it. Yeah, you would hear it. But it sounds like somebody doing a bad impression of Mirage. Is the funny part. It's not even a good Mirage, but it's the same voice actor. But I feel like one of the biggest problems with this, based off first impressions, if the game throws too much at you way too soon. You literally you go into the cyber world and it's just like, all right, run around. There's no sense of direction. I think the game could have used a little bit more set pieces before it unleashes you into the open world, kind of like any other open world game. But it was just kind of like, all right, well, A button does this, B button does that. And it's constantly throwing different fighting mechanics, different running mechanics. This motherfucker can sidestep and dodge now. It just throws way too much at you, and like none of it makes sense in the story. I don't know. Maybe it could get better. I'm not a huge Sonic fan. Ace loves it. I've seen some people on social media love it, but it has been getting mixed reviews. It seems like there's no in between. People seem to really love it. I've seen there's like, yo, this is the best Sonic game, and then I've seen other people like is mid. My first impressions, a couple hours, it was all right. Like it has potential, but I was like, I'd rather play God of War. Maybe we'll come back to it. Did anybody else get a chance to play Sonic?
Is this the Elden Ring of Sonic games?
What the fuck does that mean?
You said open world that doesn't tell you where to go and what to do. You just run around aimlessly. It's not basically Elden Ring.
But the difference is Elden Ring was engaging.
This one's not.
Yeah. So the world is just really flat and kind of baseless. I didn't really want to explore this big open world. It felt like an Unreal demo, and they just threw a bunch of assets. Like you remember in Tony Hawk, where you could like create your own level, like a little skate park and shit. It looked like somebody just threw all the free assets on the screen. And there's just random shit in the sky you can grind on and run on, but there's no real sense of like direction. So I don't know. The level design was it was weird for me. I wasn't really feeling it. But I will say the game is most fun when you're exploring the world and then you do find those linear levels. There are linear levels in the game, like traditional Sonic. They're basically like zones and you have to like find them. The problem is the few that I played, they literally lasted like a minute and a half, and I was getting S tiers on them. Unlike Ace, he gets the D, but they were just way too short. I was like, I want more of that. Those linear traditional Sonic levels, it felt really good, but this open world stuff, kind of weird. We'll see how
it sounds like what you're saying is Sega got a little bit too ambitious with Sonic, and they probably should have dialed it back and just made it more like, I don't know, like Sonic Adventure or something like that. Just made it a little bit more of a linear experience instead of just making it open world with no purpose, no sense of direction.
Maybe, but it's even hard. It's hard for me to gauge it because I only got 2 hours on the game. Like the game could improve. Some people I've seen play it say that like, yeah, you got to stick with it. It's funny because the story plays like a shonen, so maybe the game does too, where you got to get 60 episodes in before it actually gets good. But it's just like, do I have the patience to wait that long? like once again, I don't have any type of affinity towards the Sonic cast of characters. I think they're weird. Other than Shadow, he's pretty cool, but the rest of them just like.
So you like Knuckles? You don't like Knuckles?
Knuckles, he's all right. Yeah, one deep throws chili dogs. Another sits with a crystal up his ass. Knuckles. Amy, she got the hammer. She got the hammer, but she can't clap nobody. Dr. Robotnik got diabetes. Like, I don't know.
As soon as Ace hears this, he's gonna load up his Tesla. He's gonna charge it up. He's going right there, bro.
Somebody is holding.
He's
ignorant.
There's somebody cuddling their Amy body pillow right now, just screaming that you're wrong right now.
What's funny too? I don't like the Sonic community either. Like when I stream this game, it was like a couple people in the chat. You're playing it all wrong. You gotta do it like this. You gotta do it like, shut the fuck up, bro. Jesus Christ. You would have thought I was playing an Elden Ring. Like, yo, this game is not that difficult. I'm like, this is why nobody likes y'all, bro. This is why y'all get teased. I'm just like,
This seems like an backseat. It seems like open world that doesn't need to be open world. Like when I was watching like you play, I was like, this needs to be just more closed off. Like I don't understand the purpose of making it this gigantic and open. It seemed dead as hell.
Yeah, like it was just like random enemies, like, and I kept running into the same enemies. It just felt very uninspired, like maybe it needed a little bit more time in the oven. But then again, who knows? My opinion could change because the beginning of Gotham Knights was really slow, and I thought that shit was horrible. Then midway through the game, like a good 20 hours, I actually really did enjoy the game. But then like that last hour was just horrible. The optimization went to shit. The story went to shit. That final boss fight was shit, and the ending was shit too. And I'm just like, oh my god,
I wasted time.
I wasted time. Yo, Gotham Knights might be the first game I ever played where the beginning sucks, the middle is dope, and then the ending is just awful. I'm like, what kind of sandwich is this, bro?
All my hopes of buying that game have now left the building.
Yeah, I feel like I was hoping to get it on Steam Deck. Now you just made me kind of like not even want to get it now.
Yeah, I would say wait till some like patches drop, because I think it has potential. If they get a green light on a second one, if they clean some stuff up, there's potential there. But yeah, that last hour was rough. It is what it is. Let's pivot away and let's talk about what really matters. One of the biggest games of the year has finally dropped. We're talking about God of War Ragnarok. My speech sounds like Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok. It's available on PS5. If you're poor, you can play it on the 4.
That rhymes too. If you're poor, you can play it on the 4.
Play it on the 4.
That shit lit. That shit lit. This is the direct sequel to the 2018 reboot of, not reboot, the continuation of the God of War franchise. Atreus is a little bit older. We're now going against other Norse mythology gods, unraveling more secrets of what's going on with Loki and all this other bullshit. And this shit is fire, yo. This shit is fire. I only got 4 hours. I ain't gonna spoil nothing. I only got 4 hours, but like that opening boss fight with Thor, that shit was heat. What's the name? Just the set pieces. You could tell this is like a labor of love. The polish, the level of polish to it. I feel like actually exploring the world. I was like, oh man. I was like, this is not full-blown open world. It's like semi-open world, but it gives you just enough to where you want to explore. I was like, damn, I'm going to want to do the side quests and do the fights. This is the first game where like in a while where I'm having fun and I'm actually playing it on hard because I feel like normal was too easy. Ever since I became an Elden Lord and I soloed Millennia, what's the name? I just really enjoying the game. I will say, I don't know, man. People are like, game of the year, game of the year. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Based off what I played so far, my opinion could change once I beat the game. Based off what I played so far, I just don't see this beating out Elden Ring. It feels like a continuation. I'm not going to call it DLC. It feels a little bit larger in scope, more polished. But it's not enough here in terms of innovation. That's making me like, yo, this is like game of the year. But who knows? Maybe there could be a plot twist. I'm done talking. What do you think, Wu?
Man, I love this damn game. Like, this game fire. I played every God of War, like PSP versions include like the whole shebang. And this game is fun. The one thing I like about like the new God of War or whatever, like it's still a beat 'em up in essence, but it takes more than just mashing square and triangle the whole time. Like you actually have to time your parries and whatnot. Because if you just hold block, they'll end up breaking it and then you'll get punished. So it's kind of like a game of like chess for real. Because some of the boss fights, like what TBH said, like with Thor, I was getting hit by stuff I should have dodged instead of trying to block and so on and so forth. And it's fun because you actually see that Atreus has grown up. Like, he's not nearly as naive as he was like in the first game. He's more adventurous. He wants to learn more about himself, and that's about as much I'll touch on Atreus, because y'all got to experience it for itself, because he actually has his own separate missions that you do with him, and he's actually fun to use, like a lot of fun to use. The game in of itself, like, is telling us about Norse mythology and getting more in depth about it. You're finding a lot more about like Kratos, and you're actually seeing him evolve like as a father and whatnot, like how he wants to stray away from like who he used to be even more than he did in the 2018 version. Overall, if you have a PS5, get this game. If you have PS4, risk it if you want to, because it might take off and or explode on you. That's on you. That's on you. I haven't experienced any crazy bugs or glitches, but I did see one where a dude was trying to like, because like, you know, when you're on the boat and you got a docket or whatever, he jumped off, and then Kratos got stuck in like the slam animation and fell through the map. That's like the only glitch I've seen. But overall, the game runs good, it looks good, it plays well, and you'll get punished for blocking too much, not dodging, the whole shebang. Like, you actually have to think before just swinging. And the little lizard creatures are the most irritating, like, people fight on the game.
Get a chance to shoot them.
Yeah.
Fuck those lizards, bro.
They're the most annoying.
Fuck them and the werewolves, bro.
You had some interesting takes on Twitter about God of War Ragnarok. Ethos, how you feeling about the game?
How is my take was not that interesting.
Yo, just fucking lean into it, damn.
Dog, okay. No, you trying to set me here. I can hear the keyboard warriors. No, I think it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's like, what I agree with you, TBH. I feel like when I was playing it, I kind of was like, yeah, this feels like a continuation, and more like a refinement of what like 2018 was. It was like they took 2018, was like, all right, 2018 felt like a vertical slice of what we want God of War to be. This is like an expansion on all the ideas that we had for 2018, but maybe we just didn't have time to implement them, and now we put them in there. I wouldn't go as far to be like, oh, this is just DLC. There's definitely like a lot of effort and stuff like that, and I really do think like the presentation of the game is really nice. The, you know, everything from the animation, the combat system, I really like all the new additions they've had. Some of the stuff combat wise, I kind of was like, I still have an issue with the camera. I still don't agree with the idea of Kratos not being able to jump. That's just something that's stickling. Like, that was a stickler I had for 2018. They kind of doubled down on it in this game, and I'm still not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of how sometimes it's hard to know when enemies are attacking you from behind, and that you got to rely on the audio cue and this like arrows basically in front on Kratos' waist in order for you to dodge people who are behind you. I won't explain why, but they kind of got rid of the whole, you could press one button to, I guess, shift your camera 180 for something else, which I won't say what it is, because I don't want to spoil. That's a spoiler. But yeah, I've gotten pretty far. If I'm going to guess where I'm at in the game, I feel like I put like 22 hours in the game, and I'm not done because I've actually been doing side quest stuff. So I feel like it's going to take me to like the 30th hour, maybe 40 hour before I beat it, because I'm actually like going through doing some of the side stuff and doing some of the main stuff.
We get it. You play your games on like JG.
And I don't want people to say, oh, he just rushed through it. He didn't give it time. He's not giving it fair. He's just rushing through the main. I know people are going to try to make that argument. But I will say I agree with you. The one thing I'm not too sold on with this game is I think the pacing of the story is not that, I wouldn't say not that good, but I don't like the way it's paced. Like what I mean by that is like when I played 2018, I felt like, all right, I'm here with my son, and our goal is to get to the top of this mountain so that we can spread the ashes of our wife. That was like always the goal from the beginning to the end. This game, I don't know what exactly is the goal. Like, it keeps shifting, and it's like you think it'd be like, all right, it's about Ragnarok. And then you're like, is this about starting Ragnarok? No, we're stopping. We're not going to start Ragnarok, but we're going to start it. No, we're not going to start it. Okay, what is this character doing? And like, they just go off and do some stuff. I won't say it because, again, Woo, there is a part of the game, and I think maybe Woo've reached this part, but there's a part, a couple people on Twitter agree with that. There's a part of the game where you're talking about the Atreus stuff. There's a part where Atreus part that happens, and I'm not even kidding you. It's like the most boring part of the game. It's like there's literally like it's like 30 to 40 minutes, and I hate it because it introduces a new character that I think is fascinating, but everything involving this character that you're doing with this character is just mind-numbingly boring. I fell asleep playing the game. That's how boring that segment was.
That's a bold claim, yo.
Wow.
For the people, ponies is on your ass.
All I'll say is y'all know the part. Maybe
By the
Wu knows
way,
that part.
about-
What's
I think
great
Wu
now
knows
that
what I'm
we're
talking
on
about.
camera, now that we're on camera, your name is showing. That was Ethos. that
Yes,
said
I'm
this.
saying this. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I feel like if you're being fair to me, and we're being fair here, I think if you got to the part I'm talking about, I think that.
tedious.
Yes, I think that most people will agree with me and say, yeah, that part of the game was just tedious and very. It was just like, I'll give it another hint so you guys know specifically what I'm talking about. Basically, it was, hey, do this thing. Oh wait, one more thing. Oh hey, one more thing. Oh wait, one more thing. And it was like, bro, it wasn't even a fetch quest. It was just like talk, walk, talk, hop on this thingy, ride this fucking animal for 15 minutes while we talk, then go look at this thing for 5 minutes, then talk.
That sounds like,
it was just like, bro, come on.
That sounds
man.
like Plague's Tale Requiem. It was like that game was fire, but like in the middle of the game, it was like from like chapter.
Yeah, it's like a
9 to
slowdown.
11.
You're like,
yeah, it
you're
was just like straight
what is
cutscenes
this?
and talking. I'm like,
Yeah.
where's the heat at?
Where's the heat? And that's the thing. It's like it starts off like I'm not even like I feel like it's like what you said about Gotham Knights, but reversed. I feel like the beginning is gas, and then there's just stuff in the middle where I'm just like, bro, why am I doing this? This is so boring. Or like this, like I want to get to the heat. Where's the Ragnarok shit? And instead, you're running around like getting boars and stuff, and you're just like, what? Why am I doing? Like, why do I have to do this? I'm the God of War. I want to murder gods, or I want to, help my son. I don't want to do this, and they're just making you do this other stuff. This is like main quest stuff. This isn't just
Crazy
the side
part
stuff.
is that character that you
side
meet is
stuff's cool.
interesting as hell. Too.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what makes it worse. The character is actually fascinating. I find the character fascinating. It's just the stuff they're making you do is boring. It's like, come on, I don't want to do
still a
this.
game at the end of the day, and it's like they forgot.
Yes, and the puzzles. Oh my God, there's some puzzling in here that I just like. They keep reusing some of the same puzzles over and over and over, and I'm sick. I swear to God, if I have to do one more of this stupid, use the sigil, line up these sigils in a certain way so that it causes a chain reaction to hit this gear or something. If I have to do that one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind, bro. I cannot stand that shit. But other than that, everything else is cool. The combat's fire. When the main story's going off, I've done a couple of boss fights. There's some people in this game, that are definitely lit. Some of the side quests in this game are lit too. Some of the bosses, big ass animals you fight is really cool. I'd actually argue and tell you, TBH, I don't know if you've gotten to it, but I would actually argue this is not this is actually an open world game. There's parts of this game where I was like, oh my fucking God. It was like a Ubisoft where I was just like, oh, okay, this is like a smaller area. Then they showed a whole new region. I was like, bro, I'm not doing this shit, bro. I'm not going to go do all this, bro. But everything else, though, I thought was really cool. There's some beautiful environment pieces. I think some of it gets a little redundant a little bit. Some of the levels feel a little redundant of how you move throughout them. But I still think it's good. But I will say, TBH, I think the same thing that you're thinking. Like in the back of my head, I'm playing this. I'm like, this is great. This is gas. But I'm like, that thing that's just hanging in the back of, I think, everyone's head. I'm just like, but I don't know. I don't think this is like blowing my. Yeah, it's not blowing my mind like Elden Ring did. And I don't feel like
Elden Ring was on sports pages. That's how like phenomenal like
it was a
game just shocked everybody. Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna be like this is what I'm saying. I won't, like what you said, I'm not gonna definitively say it until I beat the game, because the last quarter of the game could be nothing but straight up heat, and maybe that changes my mind. But at least like from what I played, I miss the mystery aspect, and I don't feel like the social aspect that like Elden Ring had, like where we were all in Discord, we're coordinating, we're finding all this cool stuff. I don't feel like I have that with God of War Ragnarok. It's more like I see stuff in Ragnarok, I'm like, oh, that's cool. That was like in 2018, but now it's like bigger in scale or more pretty, but it's still what I've seen.
Before we move to JG, I was going to ask, you brought up the puzzles a little bit. There was a little bit of controversy that actually happened on Twitter today.
Oh, don't no, come on, man.
No, go ahead.
Come on, man. Why?
Actually, friend of the show.
No, you're not.
IG, this 5,000 watts actually got into it a little bit on Twitter with some Sony ponies. Man. Because she deleted the tweet, but the gist of the tweet was she felt like the game was more puzzles than actual war in God of War. So do you feel like that, Ethos? Do you feel like there's too many puzzles in the game?
I don't think there's like more puzzles than combat from like 20 hours of playing it so far. But I do think there's a little bit more than I'd want. There's a little like it's a God of War game. I want to be cracking skulls and like doing all this crazy over the top shit and like murdering people with my son. And like it's there, don't get me wrong, like that's definitely in the game, but there's definitely like almost like I would say it's like 60, 40, 70.
60 in combat or puzzles?
60 puzzles or combat?
Like, okay, more like 70 combat, 30% puzzles. And I feel like it's still too much puzzling. Like, I'd rather it be like 80% combat stuff, 20% puzzles. I feel like there's just still, like, there's just unnecessary puzzles that are just there. And the thing is, I don't have okay, so you know, like when you do certain puzzles, like it's like a unique puzzle, right? Like, I think like you said it with, what's that game you just brought up? The stealth game? Yeah. Remember how you told me you said the puzzles are all like kind of different and unique? Like they all did their own little thing? Think of like that for God of War, but it's like they're just reusing the same type of puzzle over and over and over again, and you got to keep doing it, and that's where I feel like it irritates.
What made Requiem's puzzles great was everyone was different, and there was context behind every puzzle. There was actually a reason why you were solving the puzzle to progress the story forward. It seems from what you guys are describing, and kind of based off what I played, it kind of just seems like they're just puzzles to kind of halt the pace.
They're just there to just
like
slow you down.
That shit.
Yeah, and it does that, and then the worst part is. I'm not even say worse. I wouldn't even say this is a bad part. They do the Metroid backtracking thing. So like you do a lot of backtracking in the game, and that was something I didn't like in 2018 because they want to do the whole single camera thing. So there's no like, all right, we got to the end of this. All right, let's just cut scene, go back to this thing. You got to run back the way that you did like a lot of the time in Ragnarok, and I don't know. It's not really like a deal breaker for me, but it is kind of one of those things that, you know,
Interesting. Okay. JG, your head's is about as heavy as the Leviathan axe. How you feeling about God of War Ragnarok?
Anywho, I played about the same amount that you did, about 4 hours, and I feel the same way that you did. And I did ask some people in my chat, I was like, are we going to see anything unique in this one? And they said once you start playing a little bit more, then you will. But I have been seeing, you know, some of the same stuff. Like I see that the skill tree looked pretty much the same. The combat was pretty much the same in the beginning, but I did like obviously like the Thor fight. I like how they, you know, just got straight to it. When you finally get to, you know, your first big realm, I saw how like it split off, and I like the quality of life options where like you know, you get to a certain point and then there's a fast travel, you know, portal that you can go to, and there are like multiple there, so you can, you know, backtrack and get to where you need to go. But, you know, I was seeing some of the same things, like the puzzles were getting repetitive, and some places that you're going to have to backtrack to because you don't have that specific item yet. So, you know, if you want to get whatever secret item, then you'll have to progress in the story a little bit and then come back if you want to in order to get that. So I get those parts, and I'm like, dang, again, thinking the same thing as Ethos. I don't know if this is going to be Elden Ring, but it's going to be a battle just because everybody's been waiting for this for a long time, and you're just going to get the initial hype. Like, everybody was, before they even played it, they're like, game of the year, game of the year, game of the year. They were saying it before the game came out. They were saying it as soon
I was on
as
the menu 10 seconds of the game. Hey, is this game of the year, bro? I'm like,
it's just like music coming out. It's just like an album coming out, and they're already like, this is a classic. I'm like, bro, you barely listened to it one time. Yeah, come on now, like just chill out. But we already know that this is going to be the Game Awards. It's going to be a whole bunch of Elden Ring and a whole bunch of God of War. We already knew it was going to be like that as soon as we found out that this game was coming out this year. So we'll see. But I'm enjoying it so far. But like Ethos said, I do feel like right now it's just more of a continuation than this is a brand new experience, or, you know, you're adding on a lot more to the 2018 version. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's I think we're all enjoying it. We just got to sit with it a little bit longer. I think also we got to finish the game before we give like super definitive additions. But I mean, we'll all be streaming it on our respective Twitch channels and whatnot. So yeah, that's God of War. I think we can pivot into the news now that we've gotten some of the games out of the conversation. And the first story that I actually wanted to bring up, we're going to keep it PlayStation. First story I wanted to bring up is PlayStation VR 2. It finally got a release date and a price revealed this past week. So according to IGN, PlayStation VR 2 will officially be released on February 22nd, 2023 for 550 big ones. And the pre-orders will begin actually 3 days from which we're recording this, which is November 15th. they also revealed a bunch of different like games, bunch of like kind of generic shooters. They also showed off Horizon, which, you know, it's funny. I remember what I was just about to say. This has nothing to do with the fucking VR headset. Yo, the funny thing about God of War, and I cannot stress enough that I like this game, okay? But I just can't help but notice the bias.
Can we all say that?
Have.
We like the game. We think the game is good. Can we just say that?
Yeah, we like the game.
I think everybody here was like, we like the game. The game is gas. Yeah.
What I was going to say is I had this epiphany yesterday. Was you remember when Horizon Forbidden West came out and people were just, which by the way was a good game. It was like an 8. Didn't blow my mind, but it was a solid PlayStation exclusive, right?
Yeah.
Remember how like people were like shitting on it? Oh, cause they're reusing animations and da 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 da.
Yeah,
and like I couldn't help but feel like, where's that energy for
Where's for God of War?
Yeah.
Is it because she's a woman? Is that what you're saying, DBH?
No,
is it because it's a female? Are you saying? Are you saying because the game highlights a female protagonist that it was unfairly like sexism, that it was targeting because it was a woman, and because it's a man they're not going to do it?
I deadass was not digging that.
Crazy,
I was just comparing games.
He really might be right though.
This man dousing
Hey, bro. Hey, you know, I've been on Twitter. Twitter been kind of crazy lately, so you know.
I'm just saying, like, I saw like when he does his little rage move. That was in 2018, the same exact animation.
If he used the blades of chaos, he has the exact same like combos that he had. In
Where's the energy? That's
hold on. Let me give that energy too. Here's another thing that pissed me off about it. Some of the abilities that you unlock in 2018, they put behind the skill tree again in this game.
That's what I was saying. Yeah,
the thing you were saying, JJ.
They pulled a Metroid.
I was like, why would you do this? Yeah, there's no reason, either narrative-wise, in the story about why Kratos unlearns these things, because you learned them in the first game. They should have just been in his kit off rip. And then this is another thing for people who've played. Woo, you too. Do you remember in 2018? Do you remember how when you threw the axe, there was like a perfect think of like how the perfect reload in Gears works. Like when you hit the axe and you called it back at like a perfect moment, it would like come back and feel stronger. You could like fling it again faster. Yeah, did they take that out of the game? Is that gone? Because I
haven't seen it yet. Like I'm like on
I haven't found it
unlocked for like the skill tree right now for Leviathan.
Yeah.
I got to the 4th one, so it might be there, but as a third tree, it's not there.
I'm on like 5th and 6th, and it's not on the skill tree. I've not found it.
Then it ain't there then. This was wraps. They took it out. It's wraps.
Why would they take that out? That felt great. All right, we're done. Okay, we're done.
Charge it. Probably because you could charge your axe. That's probably why they took it out.
Was that not in the last game too?
You couldn't charge it.
Oh,
now you can actually charge it and throw it and do other stuff with it. So
yeah, because I like that.
So why like the way that. Why did they take out the controls to turn around?
I can't say.
It's a big spoiler.
Audio cues. I think it's because audio cues.
A huge. No, it's not even that. Oh. There is a new mechanic that's introduced in the game later on. That's why I was like, I'm further in the game. I won't say what it is. People who got to it know what I'm talking about. But the button that was used for the turnaround button, which was the down arrow, it's something else. Now, I could be wrong. You know, it took me apparently a year to realize that I could turn off that stupid haptic thing on the controller. So, you know, this could just be being stupid again and just being like, oh, they just moved it to a different button on the controller, but I don't know where that button is. It's not there.
Interesting. So. Okay.
But to slander Elden Ring 2, Elden Ring's camera was ass too at times. So both of these games have ass cameras sometimes.
That final boss fight in Elden Ring, I wanted to fucking
that shit was irritating. Yeah, that shit's always been a problem. Yeah, them dragons with the camera well placed. Yeah, trust me. So both games get smoke on that camera, bro. No, neither of those games are good with their camera. So
how about you guys talk about the PlayStation VR 2? Anybody want the PlayStation VR 2? $550?
Nobody cares, bro. No, I'm not paying
price tag,
another PS5. I'm good, bro.
I want to get a VR headset because some of the stuff that you could do like looks cool as shit, but I'm good right now. I got a backlog of games I got to catch up on anyway, so that I could literally wait until like they really fine tune it to the point where I don't want to say I don't notice reality from like virtual, but like y'all get what I'm saying, like where it's like a full enjoyable experience type thing. Like what was that book, Ender's Game, kind of like that.
Okay.
Classic. Yeah, $550, and then the fact that most people still cannot even find a PlayStation 5, and the headset costs as much as the PlayStation 5. And then there's a rumor that they're coming out with a new model of the PlayStation 5, like a slimmed down version. I just think you guys just need to get PS5s out, maybe drop the price a little bit. It's been 2 years, still ain't barely got any games.
Didn't they increase the price too?
Overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah, not here, not in the US yet.
Yet.
Yeah,
yet. Gotcha.
You better not start that bullshit. What's the name? I was about to say, but yeah, $550. Barely can find a PS5. And then
all right,
okay. Yo, he going crazy.
I was really hoping he would just stay asleep. Hopefully, he'll make too much noise.
Yo, he was smooth with that.
Yeah, he was smooth. He just flicked it up there. All right.
He's a border collie Australian Shepherd. Man. He's a show dog. Yo. He's a show dog. He's an athlete. What's the name? They showed off a bunch of like generic games, like some shooters and all that. I'm like, where's the killer app? I still stand by. I think if VR goes mainstream, it's going to be because of console, because it's just plug and play. But like, you still need those killer apps, and I'm not seeing it from them. So it's like, why would I spend almost? Well, it is going to be $600 if you add tax. Why would I spend $600 on a headset and it's just generic shooters? And then there was a couple games they're porting over from the Oculus. There's an MMO game. I forgot the name of it. It looked kind of cool, but you can play it on the Oculus on PC right now. And the Oculus Quest 2 is like, what, $200, $300?
Yeah.
It's cheaper. Yeah, so it's like you might as well just get it there if you really want to do VR. But one VR headset that I think is gonna make a real explosion on the scene.
Oh
God. God, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're unaware, there's a guy named Palmer Luckey. He was a part of Facebook Meta's founders for Oculus. He's one of the creators of the Oculus, one of the co-founders. So he's been working on a little side project, another VR headset that he's calling the Neve Gear. Okay, and guess what's special about the Neve Gear? With this thing, if you lose in the game, you'll die in real life. So if you die in the game, you'll die in real life. So according to the New York Post, players put on the Neve Gear virtual reality headset and they open a new game of Sword Art Online. He created his own version of it. You have to fight through a 100-floor dungeon against a mad scientist. And if at any point you die, this device is connected to 3 explosive charge modules above the screen that are aimed at the player's forehead. Should the player die in the game, the microwave emitter would go off and it obliterates the person's head. And the funny part is, right before you die, you get a game over screen. What is the point of that? You're dead. You're not even going to see it anyway. Your head's going to blow up. So who wants to play the Neve Gear?
No. So we all play games to escape, reality a little bit, to enjoy ourselves. If I want to die, I'll just go to Scottsdale 4 deep with a taillight out. Like, I'll just do something like that. Just live my life. Hey, like, ain't no point in you buying this. Like, have y'all seen the movie Game Over?
No. I think Akamar has. I think your dog has.
But there is this movie called Game Over that is essentially this, where however you die in the game is how you die in real life. And I'm sorry, I don't want to play no headset that's going to turn me into a pack, bro. Like, you see this right here, dog? Like, I'm already close to being a pack every day I walk outside my door. Like, come on now.
I don't know.
Like,
I think JG's big forehead might survive.
That's crazy. And like, the reason for this though, he wants gamers to be closer to the gaming, the gaming scope or whatever. Like, his reasoning is goofy. He's like, I want gamers to feel like they're in the game.
No, that's insane. The whole being able to make it where you could walk in VR in real life and you move your character, that's enough for me. But that whole people have that vest. I remember back when BF3 came out, someone made a realistic game simulator and was like, if you get shot in Battlefield 3, the chest would hit you with force to make it feel like you got shot by a bullet. I was like, bro, I don't want to do this shit. You
got a heart condition. It just raps for you at that point,
bro. Have you seen me play shooters? I'm a madman. I run out there sliding and stuff. I was like, I would literally I would kill myself probably playing that game, just the way I actually
want to camp for real.
Yeah, I would want to hide the whole time. Yeah, I don't want to go fade.
So
I'm in one corner.
What if he came out? Because right now he just has a single player Sword Art Online game, right? What if they came out with a BR? 100 people drop down in this Neve Gear BR. $1 billion is on the line.
No,
you have a 1 in 9. You got a 1 in 99 chance of getting your head blown off. But if you win the game, you could win $1 billion. Will y'all play that?
Hell no.
Do you remember that movie Gamer with Gerald Butler in it?
The one was it was all green screen, right?
It was the one where
in the virtual world.
He was people would take control of real life people, and like the people that were playing as them were like prisoners, and the way they'd get out of their jail sentence is by going to like a VR, but like real people would like pay to play as, like, take control of their like nervous system and control them.
Oh, I heard of that. Yeah.
It was like,
I don't think I saw it, but I remember them. Yeah,
it was like one of those like it was like one of those like, you know, blockbuster, you know, action movies. It was like, oh, cool, with gaming elements, so like nothing too crazy. But that's what I feel like is like the next stage of this is like, you know, oh, what about for like executing like you know, murderers or something like that? Let's just put a crazy VR helmet on them or something like that, and let them
apparently
fight.
Trying to make one that sticks to your head, like you can't take it off either. Like I seen a video like on TikTok, and they were talking about this joint. But he's trying to make
jigsaw
one
shit.
Yeah,
like,
it is
like,
literal
you can't
jigsaw
take it
shit.
off. Like it's stuck on your head. It's
shit.
like you complete the game or whatever. It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
no, that's some
you're
saw
weird.
shit. Yeah,
you're
no,
weird. I don't
you're
care.
weird.
You're weird.
Yeah, somebody
you're
gonna
weird.
drug you, and they're gonna put you in a room,
Put this on you,
and they're
yep.
gonna put this headset on. It's like,
I want to play a game.
for real.
Oh, I'm
You're gonna play
good.
this, and you're
I'm good off that.
I'm good off that, my boy.
It's a prank, bro. It's a prank. Like,
Go
no,
get
it's
Chris
not.
Rock, bro. Not me, bro. I'm good, bro.
Yeah, so I don't know if this will actually release in the wild. He just kind of revealed that he created it.
How does he know this works?
Tell him to put it on himself.
Right?
Well, I mean,
How does he- yeah, how does he know this
I
works?
mean, he could put the headset like on a mannequin head and blow it up. Like he doesn't have to literally put it on himself.
Has he shown video of this thing blowing up?
Try a watermelon.
Have we seen a video of this thing blowing up? Yeah.
Man,
Well-
man, go ahead and play, bro.
Nah,
That's
I think in his article he said like he wasn't even brave enough to put it on himself yet.
Of course. Why would you want to put it? That's crazy, bro.
Costs $500 to get the headset.
Yeah, to
That's crazy.
get die, bro. No, that's something, bro.
We good off of that. Let's move on to the next one.
I just want to say that's definitely some shit white people would come up with. I just want to say that right now. That is 100% some shit that like
have no
only white person would come up with.
I mean, yeah, I don't think we want to come up with something like this. So
They jump out of, you know, planes and everything else. This is just the next stage of that in my eyes.
But you know, you
Explosive
cross the street,
gameplay.
Yeah, explosive gameplay. This is just the natural evolution of this.
So the beloved Gears of War franchise, Netflix is picking it up. They just announced that they are working on a live action film. After that, it'll be followed up by an adult animated series. So I'm guessing it's going to be like mature rated. And then they said there's potential for more content to come down the line. Now, after this story broke, right after series creator of Gears of War, the Lawbreakers aficionado and the creator of the 5-month passion project, Radical Heights, Cliffy B, took to Twitter to say that he supports Bautista playing the game's main protagonist, Marcus Phoenix. And then Bautista was like, I want to play Marcus Phoenix. Has nothing to do with what they announced. Doesn't mean he will, but this is something in collaboration with the coalition. Jay, you're a big Gears fan. You excited to see a live action film? What do they need to do to get right, wrong, whatever?
Oof. I mean, like I kind of fell out of love with Gears after pretty much 4, to be honest. But I mean, we'll see what happens. But yeah, but I think Batista 100% needs to be Marcus Phoenix. I can't really think of anybody else playing the main character.
Really?
I
I
mean,
thought he looked like
pretty much
Dom.
You think
Yeah, same
Batista
here.
looked more like Dom?
Yeah.
Nah. No. Do you remember what Dom looks like? Like he doesn't even.
Dom's
like Batista's
Latino.
bald head.
Yeah, no.
What is Bautista?
White?
What do you mean? Like
Is he
his
wearing? I
race?
don't know what he is. I don't watch wrestling. He looked like
I
he got
think-
some melanin.
I think he's. I
know
think
what
he
it
might be
is.
Hispanic. Hold up.
That shit sound Hispanic, Batista. What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying because I know
I don't
somebody.
think-
Oh, hold up.
We better
hold up.
Google it. What is this
Maybe.
nigga?
Yeah.
Yo,
It
what is
said
he?
His mother is of Greek descent, and his father is the son of a Filipino immigrant.
Filipino.
Oh, damn.
So he's Filipino. Half Filipino, basically. Filipino.
I like how he just read he's Greek and Filipino, so he's Filipino. Just the Greek side.
You know what I just thought? You know who he could play though? He could have played the dude who got tortured that we ended up finding. And like I think it was like Gears 2.
Oh no, it was in 3. He got tortured. I know you're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
open the thing. I know you're talking about. Yeah,
Him. He could do
kinda
him
like
for
that
real.
dude. Yeah,
Talking about the new character? You're Ice-T's character?
Nah, it was in Gears 3. It was named Ty. That was his name, Ty.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about. Wasn't he the first? I thought he was in the first game. You're talking about the other squad, right?
He was like in the original squad. He's like I think he was like on Bravo team or whatever.
Ty
but
Lopez or something?
It was Ty something, but basically like
Ty
went on,
Lopez.
like- that's insane.
that's the
But
financial dude.
Why, bro?
On the YouTube ads.
It was
Ty-
when you were
Ty
checking, like the
Calypso.
torture chamber. Yeah, him. It was like we're taking the torture chambers or whatever. Then you find him in there. Then he, eats a shotgun.
Yeah, I remember. Oh yeah. He was like, "I'll be all right," and then he lost his. Yeah,
that shit was mad depressing because he was like super tough. You didn't expect it to happen.
Yeah,
that was the whole thing about him too.
I remember that.
Right, well, who else could be Marcus then? Because I don't think he could be done.
Nah, I think Dave's the best bet. I think
so.
Dave's
Like, for the live action, do they need to like the video game characters? They all got to be a bunch of thick neck motherfuckers.
Apparently,
wrestlers.
You just need to grab the cast of the extendables and just.
I want to Google thick neck white women. I want to Google thick neck white men, but like I feel like something bad.
That's gonna be the wrong.
Don't do it.
I think I'll regret that.
I'll put it on private.
All you gotta do is just go to your local gym, just find the juice heads, and there you go.
They'll grab like.
What about Kurt Angle?
Well, I think it was like grab The Rock, grab Terry Crews. Terry Crews could be Coltrane, and then grab what's his name?
You know what's crazy? Yeah, he played
Ryan Reynolds.
He would.
Yeah, no, he could.
Ryan Reynolds as Baird, I think, would be perfect.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, and even Cliffy said that too. He thinks Ryan Reynolds would be perfect. Like,
who's gonna be
Ryan? What's her name? Black Widow.
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson, probably.
Man, no, you go put Scarlett Johansson in every role. You already know she get her and Charlize Theron, bro.
I actually want. What's her name? What's her name? The one that played Harley.
You talking about Margot?
Margaret Robbie. Margaret. Blah, 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 Margaret Robbie.
I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
Marcus is a tough.
I'm just like a regular blonde-headed white woman. So I mean, you could fit a lot of.
But Marcus loves her. Now, don't say that. I was excited when I first read this, and then I realized it was in collaboration with the Coalition, and all their games they've made are mid. And then also, I'm curious because this is in collaboration with the Coalition. Is this story going to be based off of Gears 4 and 5 storyline or the original trilogy?
I think it's the original.
Or something completely different.
It has to be the original trilogy.
I think it's the OG. Yeah,
but I mean,
well, I will tell you though,
Marcus is in both eras. So
I will tell you though, if this was going to be animated and they got the studio that did Castlevania to animate this, I think it could be a top tier. If they did like a Gears of War animated series that's in the same vein of Castlevania, I think it would be insanely good. But you know, that's just a pipe dream. Like they could do like another Arcane or like a Cyberpunk Edge Runners or something. I think it could be up there. But.
I wonder if it would actually make waves. I feel like Gears doesn't really make waves like it used to. I feel like it's a game that should have been dead for a while, but they keep trying to, bring it back.
Just like Halo.
Pretty much all the 360 games, Forza. Although Forza 5 was good, y'all said, so I don't know.
It was.
But yeah, I feel like this is a series. It's like, do the kids even care about if I feel like millennials will, but like, do the kids care if there's a show?
No.
I don't know if it'll.
Hey, at least it can't be worse than the Halo series. So
I
heard that one was good though, or decent. What happened?
The TV show?
It was decent at least.
It started decent, but and it went, bro.
Let's get started straight. Episode 1 was decent. After that, it was pretty much all downhill. Please
I don't know. Me and JG liked it. I liked it up until episode 5?
Like 4 for me.
They had this man lose his virginity in the show. I was
wait. Time out. He got some coochie. Wait, what?
Yeah, he took his helmet off by like episode 3, and then he got some coochie like episode 4 or 5 or something. I was like, yeah, what is this shit? Like,
all right, I'm good. Never mind.
And now we gotta. That's crazy. This is the first time that we're just like, this guy got pussy. What a fucking loser. This isn't my match.
Why don't you go kick some ass or something?
Yeah, you go rip the heads off of aliens, bro. What are you doing?
But I guess it's the way they went about it, because he was just like this confused, like Spartan soldier. Like, they treated him almost like he was like a test tube baby or something. It wasn't like some super masculine, like we out here fucking bitches and shit like that.
From basically,
it was just like, is this vagina? Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh. It was terrible. Good stuff. It was terrible.
It is what it is. Stay away from that. Paramount Plus. I don't even know that shit exists.
Now we got a season 2. You ready?
It has all of like the OG like MTV shows and Nickelodeon on it.
Yep. Get ready for about it. Season 2.
I know a place you can watch it as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Heard you.
What's the name? Another big announcement that's happened over the past week is Marvel took to Twitter to announce that they have signed a deal with EA where they will be releasing 3 games coming to console and PC involving Marvel characters from the Marvel universe. So I'm curious to see, are you guys excited that Marvel's in bed with EA? And then what 3 characters would you like to see, Woo?
Okay, so am I excited? No, only because I'm scarred by what they did to my beloved Battlefront 2. I refuse to forgive EA for that. It was one of the few times the community banded together and just said no, and we've seen what happened. Microtransactions got taken out the game, and Disney looked at EA and said, fix it. But when it comes to Marvel, I mean, I have minor hopes that it might work out because, I mean, they got so many characters they can make games off of. I personally want to see another Ghost Rider. I love Ghost Rider, and I would like to see another Hulk game that's actually good, not the one that we got, I think it was like on the PS2, and probably an X-Men game that's similar to the one, I forgot what it was called, but it was like a green one. We fought like I forgot what it was called. It had like a green case on it, but I don't remember what it was called. But those are like my top 3 because Ghost Rider doesn't get enough love in my opinion, like at all. And then the Hulk, he's literally a plushie at this point, and it pisses me off because he's not like that for real. And then the X-Men, we need them to come back because there's no better time to bring them back than right now. Because, I mean, people are kind of getting, what's the superhero burnout or whatever? The X-Men, while they are superheroes, you do have, like, the anti-heroes within, like, Wolverine and whatnot, where he kind of does his own thing, just doesn't care. And granted, we're getting his own game, but, like, them as a group has always been, like, good and fascinating to me. So, those are my 3, but I don't trust EA at all. We've seen what they did to Star Wars. We've seen what they did to Apex. EA has a track record of being money hungry and somehow just, not even somehow, but just screwing over everybody with their lust for money at this point. So, I have minimal hopes for them. And we're going to just see how it plays out at this point because, man, they put more effort at microtransactions in the game themselves a lot of the time.
So, to counter you, I was going to say, originally, I felt very similar to you. I was like, EA, Marvel, I love Marvel. I don't love EA so much. I was like, eh. And then I sat back and I thought about it, and there's a caveat to this. I will get excited that Marvel signed this deal with EA if EA gives these games to Respawn. If they give them to Respawn, I will be cool with that. It depends on what studio is creating that. Maybe even BioWare. It depends, because if we could get like some type of Marvel RPG done correctly, I'll give those 2 studios. But the rest of them, I don't know. Also, we're worried about the microtransactions too. And then 3 characters I would like to see. I think a Ronin game will work. A Gambit game would work. And then I think I said Silver Surfer, because who doesn't want to play as Max B? Come on. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much feel the same way that you do. Like, Respawn or BioWare needs to get it, but I was definitely pessimistic. I'm like, EA, what the heck? Like, I don't know how they pulled that off, especially since they were trying to shop their actual company, some months back. So I guess maybe this is the saving grace for them getting in bed with Marvel now. That they're going to be like, all right, we'll just see how this works, and maybe we can, actually make a profit and turn our things around. So we'll see what happens with that. Black Panther would have been one, but they're already making that one. Iron Man would have been another one, but they're already making that one too. So X-Men definitely. So piggyback off of Woo, X-Men definitely. I don't know, man. So it's so many characters. I think low key, I would kind of want to see a Moon Knight game. I think that would be dope. I didn't necessarily like the Disney Plus series, but I think game form, I think it'd actually be kind of dope. So we'll see how they turn that out. And I don't know, like I kind of want to see a villain game, like maybe some Dormammu or something. Like I think that they can get really intricate. Like maybe show us the other side. Like have us play it as a villain and see how that would work. Like just wrecking shit and ultimately getting to the end. When maybe you won't win, or maybe you will. So we'll see. But I think that would be cool too. Going on the other side of it. So those are my 3.
Okay, Assassin's Creed Rogue head ass. What about you, Ethos?
Yeah, kind of what everyone else said. I kind of agree with everything. I would have said Iron Man because I want Anthem 2, so that would basically be Anthem 2. So hopefully they just...
Well, no, they already announced an Iron Man game, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Iron Man and Black Panther are already announced.
But I think Motive is doing that one, not BioWare. So maybe if they took the source, because I think that's what everyone agreed about Anthem, was that it felt like literally like the perfect Iron Man game. So if it feels like that, I think I'll be extremely happy. The only other one I can think of that I think has been said is Doctor Strange. I'd like to see a game with Doctor Strange.
That'd be fire. Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool to see. I think the Ronin idea is really good. I think that would fit really well. And I'm trying to think of any other Marvel things I'd care to see. It's like they're being covered by everything else right now. So
a Gambit video game where you got to eat po' boys and crawfish to heal? Come on.
That's insane.
Guy.
You can have like mini
cameo with Zion.
Yeah, you could play like little mini games where you got romance rogue, and like while you blowing her back, you got to try to survive. You see what I'm saying? Because she's like draining your health, so it's like a little QTE or something. Come on,
you could do
that's a double entendre high key though, which is nuts to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Insane. You could do like like you said you could do like Sims. That could work.
You say The Sims?
Yep, Sims and Marvel.
Why would you do that?
Do you know
did Star Wars and Marvel, which is crazy.
They did Star Wars. Do you know how popular Sims is? Extremely.
Oh yeah, I know. I've been in a room full of like Sims content creators. I know.
I'm telling you, I haven't met one.
You did not sound happy about that.
I have not met one black woman that has not played The Sims. Not one. Every single
I'm
black
gonna
woman
call
I met
my mom after this stream.
Ask her.
Hey woman, you play
The Sims. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm not even joking. Like a lot of the women that I've talked to, like black women specifically, they've all at one point in their life they played Sims. Even though I can't tell how many of them that just say I don't play video games, but they played The Sims. Like as a teenager.
At this point, it's like virtual cosplay, so they just create their own world and live their reality with the film. So
nothing is more terrifying than you one day. Let's say you got your girl right, and she left her computer up. You call the computer, and you see she's recreated you inside the game as like her perfect life, and you see yourself as and it's like messes with you mentally. So I'm not saying that's possible from experience, but I would not wish that upon anybody.
I was looking about it. Like, did you experience this?
I'm not going to say this is
something, bro.
I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say that was from a possible experience from back then. But yeah, there's it's kind of scarring. Mentally messes with you a little bit. So
I will say one final thing. I don't think the EA can do any worse than what Crystal Dynamics did. So
that is true. It's going to be hard if you do worse than Avengers.
Gotham Knights is better than the Avengers.
I believe you.
Yeah.
It's not a live service.
I don't think it was hard to do that, but yeah.
No, because I saw people compare, and I'm like, whoa, this is not that. This is not that.
The two games that I really wanted to play with 4-player co-op,
Pain. This ain't it, Chief.
I feel that. One piece of interesting news that kind of flew under the radar, I feel like, hit the timeline, but I really didn't see a lot of people talking about this. But it's an interesting conversation. The co-creators of Rocksteady Games, for those of you unfamiliar, Rocksteady created the Batman Arkham series, as well as next year they have the Suicide Squad game coming out. The creators of those classics, they left the studio. Co-founders Stephen Hill and Jamie Walker made the decision to leave the studio. And what was really weird about this is there was this whole press release from Rocksteady's website where they released this whole letter. And I actually sat and I read all of this, and I'm gonna summarize it for you. You guys did a great job. We really appreciate the things that you did. You innovated. We really appreciate you. It's literally just 10 minutes, and we really appreciate you. There's no kind of context to why they left or what's going on. What's the future of Rocksteady? So I wanted to present the question: should we be worried?
That's
because
the red flag.
I'm so and this is why I asked this question, because I was ignorant to the concept of what was it? I think it was Casey had left BioWare during the development of Andromeda, and then a couple other prominent people. And I was like, no, it's BioWare, it's fine. And then Andromeda came out, and I was like, all right, I need to start paying attention to when prominent figures from prominent studios live. Oh yeah, Anthem too. So that's why I wanted to present the question: should we be worried about Suicide Squad now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's almost a pattern now, right? Like anytime the founders of the studio end up leaving, that's usually a bad sign that something either internally didn't work out well, or they've become sick of the studio that they helped found, or the studio's become like a kind of like a not even close to what they built it to become. It's become something completely different, like a monster, and they don't want it anymore, so they just leave. So yeah, it's usually not a good sign.
Isn't that what happened like with Respawn?
No, actually.
Isn't like how we got Respawn or no?
So Respawn was out of it. So Infinity, so when Infinity Ward, that was out of the two OGs. They left the main brain children behind Modern Warfare 4 and Modern Warfare 2. The two main guys that then had their fight with Activision, they left, and then they brought pretty much a lot of their like senior, top talented people to form Respawn, and that's how then Titanfall came to exist, and then Apex Legends, and now Vince Van Pella is his name. He's now basically EA's like, yeah, you know what you're doing, bro. Here, we're gonna make you like one of the like lead executives of EA, and you please help us fix all our other studios, since you're basically been like 3 for 3 at this point. So yeah, I think it's a bad sign. I think BioWare is like a perfect example of that. Like, remember when the founders of BioWare left around? That wasn't even Casey, but the OG ones that founded it, they left around Mass Effect 3, and then all the fallout that happened as a result of ME3 coming out. That's like another example. So I hope it's not, because I think everyone here was excited for Suicide Squad, but
especially at Gotham Knights, we need a W from
Batman
universe.
W. Yeah, we need a W from, and if anyone could do it, it's Rocksteady, but now I'm a little concerned about that. So.
Yeah. Will Rocksteady remain steady?
I've seen that coming.
I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming. I could feel it.
What about you, Jay? How you
I mean, I pretty much agree with Ethos on this one. Like, they said that it's finished. They said that the game is finished. So, I mean, there's a slight possibility that this game won't just go to crap whenever it comes out, but it's already been delayed. They're already talking about, what's the excuse nowadays? It's always COVID. We can't get the game right. We're going to delay it, But now seeing this news, we were like, well, you can't really blame COVID at this point. It had to be something internally that caused, the two main people were there since the beginning to just dip out. So who knows what have happened internally? We probably will never know unless somebody, possibly gets it out of the two main guys. But it's looking bad. So we'll just have to see. Hopefully, there will be hope that Suicide Squad will be good, but and just not a good sign when the two main people just dip out, and then just all of a sudden too, it wasn't like anything leading up to it, or at least in the public eye that we were privy to. So we just gotta pray on this one, bros.
Can't stress enough that we don't want to see this game fail. We all want the game looks fire. We all want this game to succeed. I think I put this on the show notes just to make people aware of this, because I saw this article hit my timeline, and like I didn't really see anybody. There are certain news stories that hit the timeline and like everybody be talking about it, and this one nobody was talking about it. And I'm like, what I'm trying to basically say is sleep with one eye open when it comes to Suicide Squad. This one could still remain being fire. Like the game could almost be done already, and they just kind of left them to polish it, or it could go completely left. Keep your eye on that game is all I'm trying to say. Pivoting to BioWare, though, because we were just talking about that. In 7 Day, it is a holiday in which all Mass Effect Knights, is that what we're calling ourselves? Or Citadel Boys? The Citadel Boys?
Commanders. Pathfinders,
the shepherds. My dog's a shepherd.
Shepherd.
Every November 7th is N7 Day, which is a celebration of all things Mass Effect. And on N7 Day every year, BioWare releases and teases something in relation to the future of Mass Effect. We know there's a new game coming out, and they just put out like a cryptic message in a Twitter video, and people broke it down, and then they kind of released the audio on, I believe it was SoundCloud. You was going kind of crazy. Why were you going so crazy about this cryptic message? What was in it, Ethos?
Liara is basically talking to the Geth. So that's 2 confirmations that Liara is going to play a major role in the next game, and then the Geth are alive. So that's kind of mind-blowing, because I think a couple of people are thinking, like, how is this possible? Because if the Destroy ending happened, technically all the sentient life would have been wiped out of the universe because of what you do at the end of Mass Effect 3. So it's kind of like, how is this possible that the Geth survived? Did they jump to Andromeda low-key? Were they the benefactor of that was helping the Andromeda and Liara low-key in the back end? So like this is just open like the conspiracy theory, the whole meme from Sunny in Philadelphia staring at the wall. Like this is like expanded the idea, but this is basically also confirmation that the game takes place after Mass Effect 3. That we're not getting it's not a prequel. It's not like that. Like this seems to be, because of the timestamp on the video, this seems to be, I forgot how long. I think the article might say but according to the timestamp, this is like 8 years or something like that after the events of Mass Effect 3. So this is, going to be the sequel, which I think everybody was, or I won't say everybody, but it seems like a lot of people were asking about. Like, people wanted a direct sequel to Mass Effect, not some side story. Some people wanted a prequel. I wanted like a thing about the Contact Wars, but, I still want to see what happens after this, so it's cool.
It's like part of me wants to get excited, but then on the flip side, it's like you're opening a can of worms.
You're opening a huge can of worms. Yeah.
You're playing with the original trilogy now. If you're gonna play in that realm,
can't fuck this up.
Better be classic.
You cannot fuck this up. Yeah, you cannot afford to. The worst part is like it leaves so many questions, and of course, like outside of the controversy of Mass Effect 3's ending, you have 3 technical endings that. I know some people try to say that, like, oh, they're just 3 different colors, but, like, if you paid attention to the extended cut, they are 3 drastically different results. Like, the universe is in way different positions based off of what color you pick, quote unquote. So, I don't know. Like you said, I think this opens, like, a whole big worm of, like, how are you gonna fix this? Like, do you pick one of the endings and you say, this is the canon ending, and then you go forward, or do you find a way of, I don't know how you do this, but do you actually make the game take all 4? I said this before, I had this conspiracy theory that and I still stand by it. I think I have this theory that Mass Effect Legendary Edition, the reason why Legendary Edition exists was, one, not only to pull in new fans, but I feel like they built in that they updated the games because they were going to potentially take like your data from the trilogy for like a new game or something like that, and they couldn't do it with the older games. So I think that's why they worked on the remasters. That's my like conspiracy theory. I think it's something with the Legendary Edition and like the timing of that with this new game. I think the two are like going to be connected. I think this confirmation kind of adds more fuel to that idea.
JG, who are the guests?
You guys sound like a bunch of freaking nerds. I don't know.
Who's Garrus?
A person in a game.
That's
The Archangel is the correct answer, sir. Your favorite character in the game.
The hero of Omega.
This man is so unamused.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember or care about too much
space
in the game.
shit.
I played Andromeda, but yeah, it's just.
When are you getting back to that trilogy, JG?
I don't know.
Hey,
Shit,
no, you have
really them to
to.
give
You
me
have
anything.
to. I finished our side of the bet. You have to finish it.
Don't tell him that. Let him reinforce the idea he don't play no games.
No, he has to do it because I told him I would play Judgment if he finished playing the Mass Effect, and I finished Judgment. I'm on Lost Judgment now. I beat Judgment literally last week.
Right,
You know how we get?
He lost
This is how we get JG to play.
I have to play
Mass
his
Effect,
games.
This is how we get him to play Mass Effect. We're gonna get a disc, right? And we're gonna put a picture of one of the Yakuza games on the disc, and then when he plays this Mass Effect,
It's not that I don't
Like, what
like
is
Mass
this?
Effect,
Oh,
it's
there's
just
space?
It's just there's not enough time. I'd rather play newer games than go back and play the older ones. That's why I played Andromeda.
Man.
I did play and beat that one, but I still have to finish 1 through 3. So who knows when I'll play it? But when I find some time, how about everybody who's watched this podcast right now? If I can make enough money to do this full time, then yeah, I'll play them all. All right, I don't have time to freaking play these games.
I'm telling you, bro. If I have time, if I get through Lost Judgment, and you don't get back on Mass Effect 2, I'm gonna be disappointed.
I'll get.
you
back
didn't
on
even
it
finish
eventually,
One
bro.
Piece. Be quiet.
I'll never finish One Piece.
Yeah, you're
no
all
one can finish
frauds.
One Piece.
How about
You
that?
finish One Piece? You tell me what's the One
Why
Piece?
would I start that? I don't watch that. It's just for
Exactly.
nerds,
You
bro.
think I'm gonna start it either? Like,
It's for pirate head asses. I don't want to watch that shit. Like,
That's apparently, by the way, all that 1,000 episodes isn't even the main story.
You know, a movie just
Hello?
came out too. I'm like, this motherfucker's never gonna find
I'm
this
so
shit.
serious,
bro.
It's apparently not. Apparently,
What?
that was like all like prequel, like filler stuff. Like everything that everybody's been watching isn't the main timeline yet. It's just context.
The funny thing about One Piece that a lot of people don't know about is Luffy's one of his abilities is he can stretch his arms. The writer of the show
shit.
did that on purpose as a metaphor to let you know that he's gonna stretch this story out as far as he can. And what's he doing? Think about it. Stay woke. Stay woke. Do you care about Mass Effect? Yeah, you care about Mass Effect, Woo?
I do, only because y'all hyped it up for like so long, and I played the first one for like an hour or two, and I was like, okay, I can understand why y'all like it so damn much. On top of that, y'all bullied them into giving you a better ending, which I'm not gonna lie, as a community, was
That's
hilarious.
insane. That's insane.
That was funny as hell. But I haven't got to like beat them all yet. Like I said, like I got a backlog, and that series is one of the series that's on the backlog of games that I have to play. Because I want to understand the hype. Like, that's one of the games like where the community wasn't irritating, like off Twitter, like social media, like where like you haven't played this. It's more so like, oh, you don't know what you're missing type thing. Like it was like more laid back type shit based on what I was seeing.
Mass Effect community is cool, and then when you do play it, they love watching other people who've never.
Oh, it's fascinating to watch them.
You make your decisions.
I think what the thing about Mass Effect's community that I think is
they always talk about me.
This is my take about it.
I know what Garrett's was.
I feel like why the Mass Effect community is not that like OD is because we've got humbled so many times with a couple of our games. Like I feel like 3 and Andromeda has humbled our community so much that like we're not like I won't say the community's name, but you know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that feel like every single one of their games are a masterpiece, and you be damned if you criticize them. But I feel like Mass Effect fans are kind of self-aware that their game has these beautiful flaws, but it's still like a masterpiece with them. I think that's like kind of the reason why I think like a lot of, and then this is the other thing I think too. I think TBH can back me on this. I think even to this day, I don't think any game to this day has been able to do what Mass Effect has done to the scale that it's done it. Like a lot of games have emulated certain mechanics of it, like choices and stuff like that. But I really don't feel like I've ever experienced
how the way the story carries over and whatnot.
Over through like with that level of depth and complexity. I don't think we've ever like Telltale's like such a it's like a toddler compared to the like how crazy Mass Effect can like become.
Yeah, because in 3 you had things that you did and that were being referenced from 1.
From 1, yeah, from the beginning of the thing. And Telltale doesn't do that much, but you know, Witcher kind of does it. But whenever you get to it, that's the thing, right? Like, you know, we always love seeing new people try the game.
I'll eventually get to it. I just got a backlog. It's fucking ridiculous. Then I get distracted by all the other games. Like I got like at least 1,000 hours in total on Warframe on 3 different consoles.
Hey, I'll tell you right
Xbox,
now,
and PC.
Wait for a summer. Just wait for a summer. You know, there's going to be that dry spell that's going to happen probably next year or the year after, where there's going to be that moment where there's nothing out, there ain't no games to play, and then you're like, fuck it, I'll boot it up. You know,
probably.
You got a lot of hours on a free-to-play game like Warframe. Since you like free-to-play games, Woo, how do you feel about Rumbleverse?
I ain't even touched that game, fam. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Would you say it's dead?
I don't want to talk about a game that I haven't played, but I have not seen a single soul play that game that I was watch playing it, and he shall remain nameless, but y'all know what I'm talking about. I haven't seen that game get played since.
Interesting. Anyways, interesting.
This man is just catching strays twice, 3 times, and can't defend himself. I'm sorry.
I'll never stop doing it either.
New season is out too, which is funny.
Ain't nobody play that shit.
Lord.
Remedy confirms they're working on Control 2 for PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. They also said that this will be larger in scale because they got a bigger budget. That's about all the details we got on it. I didn't beat Controls. Like, I wasn't a big fan of it. Maybe I'll go back to it because I feel like maybe it's one of those games I didn't give it enough of a chance. You guys excited? What do you want to see for Control 2, Ethos? You just said a woo!
Woo! Me and JG were fans. We stand this game when it came on.
We actually beat it.
We actually beat the game.
We actually beat it. You know,
we beat the game.
Trying to make a joke about me not being a game, but he
didn't beat that game.
It's all right.
There's a reason why JG is leaning forward on the camera. It's because of all the lies his brain is holding. It gets a little heavy. So he leans forward. Don't lie on my name.
He literally just said it. Can we rewind? He said, I didn't beat Control. Did we hear that?
Yeah.
One game I didn't beat.
No,
one.
Yeah, all right.
There's a lot of games he was skipping in 2019. Yeah, there's a lot of games he uninstalled.
I can tell you don't watch those videos because I be beating the games, then I uninstall them. I don't want to hear that shit.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Did you beat Kingdom Hearts? Did you beat Kingdom Hearts 3?
Nigga, nobody beats Kingdom Hearts. JG, relax. I can't believe you just said Kingdom Hearts. Get the fuck out of here.
That was one of the first.
Hey, what's Kingdom Hearts about? JG, what's Kingdom Hearts about?
No, ask Woo.
What's Kingdom Hearts about?
Woo can tell you.
Hold up, relax.
Kingdom Hearts beats you.
Kingdom Hearts beats you.
I'm mad because I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, don't bring up Kingdom Hearts.
Go ahead, Woo. Go ahead, Woo. Defend your thing.
You see that big ass picture?
I was just gonna say I saw anything in the back. I was like, oh, Woo's gonna have to do something.
I got the Keyblade graveyard like literally right there, and I have an actual like an actual Keyblade over here. Like I'm a huge fan, but I got
show the Keyblade.
Right there
show the Keyblade. Where's the keyblade? Show the keyblade.
It's literally, hold on.
Hey, yo, and swing it too. Swing it on.
Yeah, you gotta swing it. Yeah. You gotta swing it.
Yo, swing that shit. Yo,
You gotta
you can hear us. No, hey, pick your keyblade up. Swing it for us one time for the podcast.
Go ahead.
Technique.
Yeah,
show us your technique.
show us your heart of hearts.
I hate all
Heartless.
Nah, because here's the thing. I'm not ashamed to admit, like, I'm a big fan of Kingdom Hearts. I'm not afraid to call them out on their bullshit or whatever. Because I was waiting for that game since KH2 or whatever, and I actually have like the full like costume or whatever. Right? Problem is that game is confusing on a linear level. Like, it's damn near as confusing as like the Metal Gear Solid storyline. All like on the basis of Kingdom Hearts, the story is like this simple, but they make it complex. Kid with key saves the world, and that's it. But they give you all this extra shit. Like, there's like 4 versions of yourself, 4 versions of Riku, the whole shebang. It's confusing. So if somebody tells me they don't like Kingdom Hearts, I understand. It's just a game that I grew up with that had characters that I grew up watching. So playing alongside those characters and whatnot and visiting those worlds was dope. But that story's confusing as shit. And the third game is like on the Gears of War Judgment level for like a lot of us, where it's kind of like, we don't really talk about that game too much. We don't really talk about that game.
Yeah,
When you walk away.
Yeah. I looked up a YouTube video one day, on just the entire lore of Kingdom Hearts, and I got even more confused than when I started watching the video.
I'm trying to tell you, don't do it. Just Kid with Key saves the world. That's all you got to think about. All that other stuff, it's just confusing. You're going to get irritated. But yeah, I literally got a whole Keyblade or whatever and like dressed up in cosplay. Like, I had pictures of it like on my Instagram at one point. So, yeah.
But yeah, back to games that we actually did beat Ethos. Control 2. Sure. Okay.
Let them know, JG. Let them know.
It's all right. We all have games that we don't like, or we don't have time to finish. But just keep putting the narrative on me, a person who's married and has a kid and can't play games as much as I used to.
I have a kid.
He wants to keep throwing it on me, right?
I got a kid.
Me streaming and beating these freaking games. I just beat Gotham Knight. Shut up.
This man grabbed a dog. This is my kid right here. Like, that dog is like,
that's
why
my
are you
son.
doing this? This is my
I got a child too.
Yeah.
My child. I have my child. My child's
I'm
not
busy. I'm busy.
I
I got a girlfriend. Does that count?
Look, yeah. If she's taking your time, yes.
What's the name? Cap. That's all I gotta say.
I will say, I can give some exclusive leaker knowledge here. A certain individual, I won't say their name, but they reached out to me through private DM, and they told me before this was announcement, they told me that they got already not hands-on, but they got to see Control 2 already, like what it is. Would you like me to tell you?
Are you allowed to say this?
I'm not under NDA to say what it is. The person is that told me, not me. I can say it. I didn't sign no legal document, so I found this leaked information, and it's probably on Reddit already. If it's not, I'm about to end up on Reddit, so this will make the podcast go viral. Okay, so
what's up, Reddit?
Yeah, what's up, baby? Hey, take me out to dinner. Look, so the leaked thing that this is the person they said that they got asked to, and I won't say who the person is. They told me that, so it's like you said, they told me that it was going to.
They allegedly told you.
They allegedly told me that, yeah, the Control 2 was confirmed. They saw it's actually playable. They have actually like a playable version of it right now, and that it is the person you play as is not Jessie, it's her brother, and so it's the brother that you see at the end of the game, and that the brother uses a completely different combat style than her. Like, apparently the way that they described it was like they use the voices or whatever it is, and they materialize and uses like a sword. So instead of a gun, he uses like a melee. So it's like melee based or something like that. So that's the leak. That's all they told me. So that's all I'll say. There's much more, but I won't spoil it.
Interesting.
What exclusive?
That's what I said. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, there you go.
At any point, the FBI about to break through the door on this, man.
That's crazy if this was not on the internet. Yo, if that's actually not on the internet and I'm the first one to actually reveal that, that's bad, man. I'm gonna have to make one of the, what is it, Twitter? I'm gonna have to make a alt account, the snitch.
Your man's about to call you. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Hey, bro, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
All right.
I doubt that.
Let's see. Some new gameplay for Forspoken got revealed, showing off like the combat. This is the new magical based game with the black girl that I don't know what's going on in it, but they were showing off the combat system. Did you guys get a chance to actually look at this gameplay?
No,
the gameplay did look lit. The gameplay looked lit.
I like the
game to come out.
I like the way she traverses the environment. Like it's a big open world, but it's like the way she's moving across it. It's like really fast. But yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit almost like Anthem with.
I was gonna say that.
Different elements to create bigger explosions and whatnot.
This gives me like Anthem vibes, bro. Like I get like feelings like I feel like it's gonna be like Anthem, where it's just like, hey, this movement and combat system is really cool, but like everything else surrounding it is like meh. I don't know if you get that feeling. I get that feeling watching this.
I hope it's not just a bunch of like pointless shit to do on the map, and I hope that there's actual context and a little bit substance behind it, kind of like Ghost of Tsushima, because this is looking like a big open world. I don't have nothing too crazy to say about this. I just kind of wanted to show it to see if y'all had any takes. What about you, Jeff?
I mean, it looks beautiful. Like the particle effects look amazing. Like this is showing the true potential of UE5. So I like all of that. But yeah, I hope that there's actually reasons why you are traversing this world and fighting things. So
thank God that
we still don't know yet because they've been
next year
pushing back. Oh, we'll say January 24th now. January 24th.
Isn't that when Hogwarts comes out?
I was just about to pivot.
See, I got you. There you go.
Well, I was gonna make a joke first, though. I was gonna say, thank God this isn't coming to Xbox.
Oh, February 10th. Okay.
So the Xbox Series S won't hold it back,
Don't mind. Jesus,
according to the developers,
they said that. Did you say that VR game or whatever that was like hyper realistic that's using UE5? It's like body cam footage though.
Are you talking about the horror one?
Nah, it was like a game like this dude was in this house like with a gun, and the game looked like real life. Like I couldn't initially tell that it was like a VR game until I read the description said it was VR.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name of the game, but I did see that. Yes. Yeah,
it was scary good. It was scary realistic.
I'm good off of that. Life is scary. Since Ethos brought it up, literally just yesterday, the developers of Hogwarts Legacy did a whole presentation. It was 48 minutes long. And in it, they revealed a little bit more of the combat, a little bit of the world, exploring the Hogwarts school. And then also the character customization. That was making big waves online, especially in the black community, because they were showing off all the different haircuts. You got fades, you got locks, they got cornrows that actually look realistic. Ethos, you were kind of gushing over this. How you feel about Hogwarts Legacy as a whole?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. This is like a game that I've wanted to play ever since I was a kid. So I think like the nostalgia factor is pretty crazy for me. I mean, this is like literally just everything I've wanted to see in a Harry Potter game that just never happened. I think the hair customization is phenomenal. I've said this before on Twitter. I've kind of been like kind of a champion a lot about it, and I think TBH, like you and me both have been like doing this a lot, where it's just like we should be constantly bringing up and giving respect to developers that do this, that take the extra time to do this, because it's been, oh my God, all our life growing up, this is never
add an asterisk in there too. Ever. Just showing love to developers, period, that are doing like a great job across the board. Not even just like the hair stuff, because I do feel like just getting on Twitter, that shit is like a
shitting
cesspool.
On them.
Yeah, constantly like do you motherfuckers like any games, like the way y'all be talking to people? Go ahead.
But yeah, that too. But like specifically, like I honestly, like I don't even know why. I won't say the person that I had a ridiculous argument, well, not even an argument with, but somebody was being sued. But some people in the gaming sphere can't wrap their head around why people would care about in a character customization, why I can't create a character that looks like me. And I kind of feel like this became another. This happens like every year. Every year, I think like a game comes out with character customization, and like maybe like one time, maybe we get lucky and we're like, oh my God, finally, like at least one black hairstyle that actually looks realistic. And I think the conversation happened again this year when Elden Ring came out, and like black people were just like, bro, like this shit is garbage. Like this character customization is like garbage. You cannot make a black person. I remember there's like an article that came out, and then of course, certain people thought it was going to be, it was a smart idea to really have the take of saying, oh, this stuff doesn't, everything from, it's Japanese devs, that's why it's okay that there's no representation for any sort of black people, but you can create these like monstrosity characters, but be a black person is like an impossibility. And this has kind of gone, oh my God. And speaking of more Japanese devs, this has kind of gone for full circle again with Final Fantasy 16 and the comment that my boy Yoshida, which even I'm like so disappointed in reading, with him basically being like, black people can't exist in a Final Fantasy game.
Wait, what did you say?
You didn't hear about this? Oh man, it was terrible. So Yoshi, it was terrible, man. So I'll give the TLDR. So basically, Yoshi P, which like I had so much respect for this man because he's like one of the main brain people behind Final Fantasy 14, and like he saved Final Fantasy 14 from an abysmal like death. But he is like one of the lead producers for 16, the new game. So some people, I don't know who it was. IGN basically had an interview. They interviewed Yoshida and they basically asked him and said, hey, we noticed in the game, basically from all the preview trailer stuff, there's like no people of color in the entire game. Like from all the previews, we haven't seen one. They weren't like doing it as an antagonist. They were just curious. They're just like, are there like POC characters? Are there like black characters in your game? Or like, you know, will there be different like colors of people in different regions of this world? And Yoshida basically was like, bro, he just straight up like murdered the answer. He just straight up said, no, we just think that, you know, this is a very complex topic. And he just went like asshat around the world trying to make an excuse for it, and without just, it would have been better if he had just been like, nah, we ain't got black people. But he tried to make some crazy convoluted reasoning behind why. And then like basically like black Twitter just lit him up. Like everybody just lit him up on Twitter. It was like, bro, you're telling me you could have a flying harpy, you can have a dragon, and the worst part is they have like areas of the world they show in the trailer that is like takes place in like an African climate where like obviously people of a darker skin tone would exist there, but they have white people living there, so it doesn't make sense. It's like, so now people are basically saying like, you know, it's terrible to me that like, not that I feel like you should be like bullying developers, like you better add a black person to the game. I don't care less if you add a black person or not to your games. That's not the point. But I feel like he didn't need to do this whole like crazy long ass hand explanation to try to explain why they're so black. He should have just been like, which is the truth? Oh, we didn't think about that. That's really all he could have said. Like, oh shit, that's all bad, bro.
I think that would have been a fair answer because, like, I'm gonna be honest.
You could have said that.
I don't expect a Japanese developer to be worried about what black people think. They live in a homogenous, I think that's the word, society. Yeah. Everybody's pretty much Japanese.
You could have just been like, hey, yo, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. We didn't think about that. We developed the game. Instead, he tried to make the whole argument about like.
But we'll keep in mind next time.
Yeah, like, but yeah, that's all he didn't say. He would have never gotten into black. He'd have been like,
answer.
Yeah. That would have been the perfect PR. You'd have been like, yeah, my bad, B, or like, you know, I think we made a mistake there. Or, you know, that's a good thing. Maybe next time we'll think about that. But like, for him to go all the way, and the worst part was that like, he like the argument that people try to say was that like, okay, you're telling me that you're trying to say like, oh, we wanted to base this game in reality of medieval reality, and in that there's white people majority, but then people are like, if you're trying to base it in reality in historical context, people are literally just like schooling his ass with links and being like, here's examples of black people existing in medieval, like through images, through paintings and other like that, like black people existed in medieval culture. So like to say that black people didn't exist at all historically doesn't make sense. So it just made him look like a fucking idiot. It looked really bad. Yeah. I was disappointed. The whole thing was like, damn, bro.
The series is called Final Fantasy.
It's a fantasy, like, yeah.
Literally, it's fantasy, but how are you going to? It's basically just, you know, contradicting yourself. It's Final Fantasy, but you're still trying to base the entire story from historical elements. So like, I didn't get that part. It's like, why would you even say that?
Say that
immediately when you said that, like people just got on your head. They're like, bro, like that's not going to work. You're going to cut pieces off of real life. It's called Final Fantasy, bro. Like, shut up.
Like I said, it would have been better if he had just been like, bro, we didn't think about that, or hey, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. We, you know, it just happened that way. Unfortunately, like we were just designing characters and we just didn't make any black people. And I would have just been like, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna crucify you on Twitter for it. I would just be like, all right, cool. But the answer he gave was it was terrible. It was honestly terrible. And I'm not like OD about that type of stuff, but it was bad. And I'm just
I was just trying to talk about
go back to Hogwarts. Yeah, I know. It was in the same realm because of WWE. But yeah,
no, that's important though because you missed.
I think it's important to bring. That was actually an important big like topic thing. But the Hogwarts, yeah, like I said, the black hairstyles look great. They got everything.
Oh boy, got the temp fade.
Old block got a temp fade. I was like, geez, like this genuinely looked good. Like
it's nice to actually be represented correctly and not have them dingy looking locks or them dingy looking cornrows. That's like in every RPG ever, or the fade, or the nappy hair that is just. Man, look,
afro.
It's nice to actually be it's not. That's not even really an afro.
Not even
for real.
It's just like a bunch of hair.
Like, there's literally like this right here to talk about afro. No, but like it's actually nice to actually have some type of representation in the world that a lot of black folks have read and know about. Like it's shocking to people that, oh yeah, black people do more than just watch Boys in the Hood. There's a lot of us who are nerds. I mean, this podcast friends, like, bro,
speak for yourself. I'm not a nerd. What's
Yeah,
What's your mouse pad, sir?
You're a geek. Look at this. Hold on. Look at this man's mouse pad. Look at this loser. What is that? Go ahead, show that mouse pad.
What
yeah,
is
you
that?
loser. Go ahead. What is that, bro? Go ahead, move that keyboard. What a nerd. What a nerd.
Exposed.
Look at this man.
Hey, look at these niggas all in my house getting the fucking blueprint of my house. You fucking feds.
Yeah, I bet you right now. I bet you if I look at your walls, you probably got a Liara poster up right now. You ain't slick, boy.
I didn't Florida.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, them disc plates.
Yeah, I got a display up.
Yeah.
Slick.
I'm incredibly excited for this game because I love like the Harry Potter like franchise and series and whatnot, and for us to actually have an RPG in the game we get to experience it firsthand and not have to follow the story and have our own adventure is going to be dope. I would say I did want a co-op aspect to this game that way we could all be in different houses and whatnot, because I thought that'd been kind of fire, but by the combat I've seen in the game and the stuff that they showed, it looked good. But again, I'm keeping my expectations low because it can look good for like the first maybe hour to 2 hours and then it just dies off. Yeah, I don't want that.
I'll take it back. I don't want co-op because Gotham Knights was the perfect example. I don't think we need co-op, bro. I think you getting tethered together. I'm good, bro. I'll take the single player. I think if the story's cool. I like that it. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't sold on the time period, the 1800 something. I was like, why can't these be modern day? I was like, But now that I think about it, I was like, okay, this gives a lot of lore and a lot of stuff that I really don't know that much about in the universe. So I was like, that has me a little bit excited too.
If I can't put some of these wizards in the pack, I'm be mad.
Bro, I'm telling you, the moment I was like, I'm ready to pre-order this game is where he was like, you could do the curse and kill people. When I saw that, I was sold. I was like, all right, you could be evil. I was like, that's all I need to see.
I know what these Hufflepuffs are talking about.
Okay, there's basically a spell that Voldemort does.
Ravenclaw, all right, you said Hufflepuff.
I'm a Ravenclaw. Excuse you, sir. Well,
I'm a Gryffindor.
I'm now a Slytherin.
Slytherin.
I'm now a Slytherin. Boom, boom, boom.
Ravenclaw gang.
Fuck all the Hufflepuffs.
Wasn't a
Shit's a game.
I'm still not, I like the customization, but I'm still not fully sold on the combat. Like it seems like he's just kind of standing there and like I get it, like it's magic, but I don't know, like I got to see some. I don't know what I want from it, but it's still.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Underwhelming, the combat.
I don't really care if the combat has a lot of depth to it. I mean, it would be nice. I just really want the immersion to be there. I feel like if the immersion is there and I feel like I'm there, that's where I want the game.
Man, really want to go to school and read books and shit.
Dog, you don't understand, bro. That was like, who understands, bro? That was the childhood.
That sounds awful out of context.
You don't understand, bro. You don't understand, bro. Yeah, that's it. I want to read, bro.
You're trying to read.
You don't understand, bro. Growing up and just wishing one day an owl would appear with a letter to tell you use like something like that was like the dream as like.
Nigga, you from Detroit? Ain't no damn owls. It's just
that's why I wanted to leave. I related to Harry Potter. Hold on. That man lived in a cupboard, bro. He lived in Detroit in a cupboard, and his parents would just abuse this man, and he just wanted to be free.
You would have saw a rat.
I would have taken that shit all the way to Diagon Alley with the hollow points. That would have been Harry Potter and the Deadly Hollow Points.
I need somebody to animate Ethos. I need somebody to animate Ethos sitting at the edge of a window in the middle of a Christmas night, waiting for an owl to come in Detroit.
Hey, it's a raccoon. I take it, bro. I'm telling you, man. That was the childhood, man. I'm trying to think of. I don't know what like your thing was when you were a child, where you were just like you wish that universe was real. You could jump to that universe and it ended up being real. But that was like mine as a kid. Like I wish it was.
Mine was easily Star Wars.
Star Wars was scary, but I was scared I was going to cut my limbs off. That's why I was terrified of that universe.
Well, I watched because they did the series backwards or whatever, and then like the prequels came out. And Darth Maul's my favorite character. So when I seen Darth Maul, I was like, yeah, I want to go.
I want to
go. Yeah, I want to go.
I want to commit war crimes.
But this game gonna be fire. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be fire. I hope it's gonna be fire because the combat, it could be a little, stiff or whatever, but like I actually want to be like Ethos, like immersed like in the world and whatnot. And if they can get the decisions to matter, so like if I don't fuck with this person, they try to come back and do something, like that'll be heat. Like there's one thing I wish more games that had these decisions had before. Who was it? WB like made it a. Well, not the copyright, but made the claim on it, the Nemesis system. Yeah, I wish more games had that system in it because that system is fire.
Yeah, it is.
Man, there's nothing like trying to fight a boss and all of a sudden the dude that you thought that you took out comes back. It's like, yeah, it ain't over.
I'm back.
Yeah, like,
I got stitches on my neck.
That's what I'm saying. Like that needs to be more. That needs to be in more games. That needs to be in more games.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. It'll be interesting to see when this game drops in February.
February
2023?
10th. February 10th. Just check.
Yeah. It is stacked. Like we still got not only do we just get God of War, still got Bayonetta to play. And then next month Callisto Protocol drops. Also Evil West drops this month too. That game looks pretty fun. And then going into 2023, we got even
more gas. It's more gas.
Yeah,
plenty
it's
of
picking up again.
Plenty of chances to prove y'all don't play no games. So y'all better play some games because I will be calling it out on the podcast. Steady podcast.
All right, bro. You hear that, JG?
Yeah, I'm prepared to not have time to play any of this stuff.
I won't either. So you're gonna get us this one.
Last but not least, freaking time to move into the social warrior section of the podcast.
Go ahead, JG.
Yeah, JG, of course, you're going to take the helm on this, but let me go ahead and break the story down for everybody. So,
the owl is watching.
Breaking news, a portion of gamers are terrible people. So, according to
wow! Oh, man.
That dude known, right?
People who strongly identify as gamers are more prone to racism, sexism, and misogyny. I mean the same shit, but there. So basically, the gist of this article is people who identify hardcore as gamers, they're basically followers, and they're more in tune. They're more inclined to basically do what the next man does, and especially when they feel the need to protect their identity as gamers. This is something I think we've all known, like we've all kind of talked about this like on the podcast, but it's very interesting that the actual studies have been done on this actual group of and they say it's a small minority of gamers. I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like it's a little bit bigger than what
y'all ain't digging long enough. Yeah,
I think what it is, like what this article is trying to break down, is like you got people who were like 35 plus who were getting shoved in lockers, or they got like bullied, but like gaming is like the one thing that they had that helped them escape, and they really identify with it. And now that it's kind of gone mainstream, they're threatened by all people coming in trying to gatekeep, and it's created kind of like this toxic culture. And that's kind of like what this article is breaking down. But are you guys surprised that gamers are not the best people? A little racist.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
No.
I'm shaking right now, man. I would have thought.
Bro, I got told that I breathe like a black person on MW2. Like, what am I supposed to be offended?
Hey, hold on. I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of funny.
That's insane.
Like a black person.
I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of funny. It's so nonsensical. Like, what?
Right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, like I'm supposed to be shocked by this? Like, bro, like
you breathe like a blackie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we could all get on MW2 right now and just have game chat on. Y'all hear some of the most vile stuff ever, and we're supposed to be shocked by this. We've been on this, but we just don't care.
Okay, so question about that. I'm curious. I've been thinking about this for the past month. Do you feel like people are racist on Marvel 2 because they're actually racist? Or do you feel like it's just like a meme joke now where it's just like no one's actually doing it because they're actually trying, like being racist, but they're just like, this is just like part of the joke and everyone knows it's a joke? And that's like you know the TikToks, right, where it's just like, oh man, that was a good game, hey yo, shut the fuck up, and then they know they're doing it on purpose because and everyone's just on the joke, so they're all doing.
I think
you feel like everyone's in on the joke, or do you feel like there's genuinely people who are terrible?
I think it's 50-50. I think there are some people who are joking, and I think there are some people who
are serious. Okay,
yeah.
I'm just curious.
The thing is,
I think it's more of a meme now. I think it's a meme that people
I've been thinking about more as, I was like, is it people who are genuinely being
you don't
racist?
know who's what.
I can't tell. I can't tell anymore. So.
I just assume that everybody is though, because it's just the culture now, especially with just on that game, and I just fire back because I know what's coming. Like they're going to say something that's going to trigger you because that's just how it is, right?
The N-word is the go-to for everybody.
I ain't gonna lie, that shit ain't even triggering no more, bro.
It don't bother nobody. That's all you got.
Black people have had so much time to like create I remember. Do you remember that thing on Twitter where like there's that whole list of like slurs that you can throw back to like people who call you the N-word, and it was like the most insane shit I had ever. Like I was reading this shit, and I was like, bro, if someone called me that, I'd be sick. Like
a mud baby, like, moon cricket.
Let's not go through the list, Jay. Let's not go through the list. We do not need to be taken out of context, please.
Someone said the Knight Riders, and it was like, now hold on, that's kind of fire. Like,
yeah, bro.
like it was like you an anti-hero or something.
Like getting a little creative with your.
Yeah,
that's about to get taken out of context, put on TikTok with sad music playing behind it. This is what they think of us.
I was actually talking to Siggy about this the other day, and I was saying that like we're from like the previous generation. Like a lot of the kids now, like they didn't get to experience the original Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, and so now it's more like a generational thing. Like they've heard stories of they seen clips
would survive in them lobbies.
Of how crazy those lobbies
You couldn't.
are. And it's literally become part of culture now. Like we have inadvertently spawned the next generation of the toxic behavior, and they're like, oh, this is how you're supposed to act on Call of Duty, so that's why they continue it. And I'm
gonna
like,
be honest with you,
like, that's kind of crazy. We didn't do it on purpose, but that's just how it is now.
I'm gonna push back. I'm gonna push back on that simply because, like, from my experience, if you've been in Valorant lobbies, that shit is just as bad, if not worse. Like, the only God-saving grace of that game is that you can't hear the enemy team, but like, it's bad where your own teammates will like treat you like that. Like, they'll treat you like complete garbage, and say the same, if not worse, shit that they've said in Modern Warfare 2
Siege
lobbies.
too.
So,
But
Siege
it's
also up there with that.
Siege gets hella racist.
Yeah.
Siege gets
It's
hella
like,
racist,
yeah,
and
It's not just Call of Duty culture, but that kind
So-
of goes back to
But
this article.
Call of Duty's the
It's
OG
gamer
of it.
culture. It's
Yeah.
gamer culture at this point.
That's
Like,
why I don't-
like whatever
Gamer
people
words.
be toxic.
That's why that shit's fucking embarrassing. Like I don't even ever say like, oh yeah, I'm a gamer. Like I would have said that shit back maybe when I was like a teenager. Like I was like 13, 14, like, yeah, I'm a gamer, blah, blah, blah. But now, like, that shit is fucking embarrassing. The way people have just like taken it and like said the most horrendous shit, done the most horrendous shit in the sake of being a gamer is just like, it's made it, honestly, it's like a slur to me. Like, I don't want you calling me a gamer, bro.
I'm a gamer. Like,
that shit's
you know.
so offensive to me. And I'm like, bro, no, I'm not a gamer, bro.
I mean, we've seen
you're
plenty
terrible,
of men
man.
because you know, like when we were growing up, even though like the studies, you know, clearly say that a lot more women play games.
A lot of
now
them,
than
yeah.
men, like, and there are more women in the world than men, so of course that makes sense. But the thing has always been, what do women play, right? And the men always try to gatekeep it, like, oh, well, you're not in the trenches playing Call of Duty, you're not playing Apex, you're playing freaking mobile games, and you're considering yourself a gamer. So that's been a gatekeeping thing for the longest, and it's still going on. Like, there are still men who still, you know, if a woman plays games, hey, you know, what's your favorite game? And then they say something like, what the fuck? Like, you're not a gamer. Like, the same thing happens in anime, the anime community, like, they do the same stuff. If a woman likes an anime, what's going on with this? Like, then they start.
Isn't it crazy how he's mentioning this? But like, we all probably have like a mental image of like the dude that looks like that saying that goofy stuff.
I'm thinking of it in my head right now. I physically know, like, yeah, some of these people.
I mean, and then we
insane.
literally got a whole community on YouTube called the Hate Community, and they made their own cliques for whatever, you know, piece of plastic that they like. So yeah, it's the gamer culture is pretty freaking toxic. Though. This article makes perfect sense. Like, it doesn't surprise me.
Gamers are bad people. I know.
Gamers are terrible.
I know.
It's crazy because it's supposed to be an escape, and somehow you're still warped into the Matrix, hating on one another and doing all this extra shit. I don't understand it. I will say one of the funniest TikToks I've seen is kind of what y'all was talking about. It was like some chick, and it was like when you're a girl and you say that you play games, and then it played an audio of a dude saying, "Bitch, name every Call of Duty ever."
Yeah.
That shit had me dying laughing. Bro. I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's
So,
how they be,
if this was a panel on Twitch, we would pivot the discussion to what can we do to solve the racism and sexism in gaming.
You can't.
But we live in we live in the real world, so
We know the real world. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not gonna sit up here like some of these, I wouldn't say idiots, but some of these nice people on like panels that try to tell you that, hey, if we work together and you stand up, blah, 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 we'll make the space a better place. That shit's not gonna happen. I hate to tell you, it's not gonna happen.
High School Musical.
This ain't High School Musical. It ain't Kumbaya. This ain't The Lion King at the end where Simba ascends to the rock. It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. The truth is, there's a lot of shitty people who play games. A lot of shitty people in this world, and a lot of these play video games.
What is going on in your life to where you hop in a Call of Duty or a Valorant lobby and somebody says something foul to you and it just ruins your whole fucking day or your life?
And you start crying.
You have something else going on in the real world because nobody can ever say anything in the lobby to me. They're like, bro, go make some real life friends or something because like it's.
I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. You need to Google some comebacks, some roasts.
What happened to fight back, nigga?
Yeah, you need to learn how to fight back. You need to.
This is the problem.
You need to stare at yourself in the mirror. You gotta stare at yourself in the mirror and be like, "You're not gonna get bullied on Valorant today. You're gonna bully people. You gotta do that shit, bro."
Keep it up, man, bro. This is the problem with. I'm not gonna say that like bullying's all the way right, but something did it with people being bullied and being able to fight back. People don't want to fight back. They just want somebody to step in for them and moderate. Stop.
You gotta bully these people.
They just
The truth is,
saying, bro.
the truth is, bro, some of the shit on this Twitter shit, some of these gamers, the shit people saying gamer, I completely agree. We need to bully some of these some gamers need to be bullied. I'm gonna just say it. Some of these losers need to get bullied off platforms. Like, you need to bully some of these, because some of these people are so socially inept, have lacking of social skills, and then on top of that, like, because they have this lack of social skills, it shows within video games. That's exactly why they go to video games. They escape reality because they suck. They're terrible people in reality.
Suck at life.
They suck at life, so they think they can become somebody else in a video. I'll never forget growing up. Do you remember those stupid ass? I'm a gamer. I don't have a life because I'm a gamer because I have many. That was the most corny shit. Now that I think of it, that was the most corny shit.
Oh,
yeah.
You
remember that shit where it was like, I live multiple lives
or something?
It was like a t-shirt.
It was like a meme.
A montage,
Yeah, and it had like
the Walmart $10 tees.
Yeah, I swear to God, it had like a bunch of like different like game characters.
Assassin's Creed characters, and
it was all like I'm a gamer, so I don't have just one life. I have many. It was supposed to be deep and cool, but it was
corny. It was corny, and I feel like they've idolized that type of quote and have impersonated it, and it's terrible.
And he's just as bad at these games too, and it's like, bro, you struggle.
Y'all ass.
There's never been a point in my life where I identified as a gamer. Like, if somebody asks, like, do you play games? I'll be like, yeah, I play games, but I've never been like, yo, I'm a gamer. Like, there's more to me than that. Like,
yeah, it's like we create content, that's mostly based off of video games, but I don't identify as a gamer either. Like, I have a life outside of games. Like, if I'm not playing video games, like, I'm doing other things. Like, I have other interests, and I feel like when you identify as a gamer, like, that's all that you do, and you're like putting on the capes and the armor, and you're like literally white knighting for everything centered around whatever video game. I feel
so bad about this now.
Yeah, it's bad, bro.
I feel so bad about this now.
I was on a date with a woman when I had first moved to LA, and we was talking about like just getting to know each other, like basic questions, and the inevitable question that came up, she's like, oh, what do you do for a living? And I was like, oh, I do YouTube and I stream games on Twitch. And then she had like a pause, and she was like, what's Twitch? And I'm like, I love when women say that. Well, no, I love it because it's low-key a compliment, because I'm so socially inept, you would never know that I play games unless I do a deep dive into it, because we weren't talking about that shit. What I'm trying to say is be a multifaceted person, man.
That's not possible if you're playing video games.
I'll be quicker to say that I'm a bowler at this point, for real, and a gamer.
Where are you from? Where are you from, Woo?
Really? Arizona.
That makes sense. Ain't shit to do. That makes sense.
I seen that coming too. I hate you.
and it's hot outside. You gotta stay indoors and hit the pins, bro.
I would say I ain't gonna lie. My
nice cock.
What the fuck?
You never seen the Wii meme where they're playing the bowling? Nice cock.
Yo, I hate this.
I seen it on TikTok. No, I'll be quick to say I'm a bowler because like I take that like real serious now. But like being like saying
I remember we was playing PAX East. I remember that was the first time I met you. I remember we was playing, and I was like, God damn! I was like, we were all playing. It was like, oh, we'll just play casual. Woo was out here. I should have known the way he tied his shoes. I was like, oh damn, this motherfucker gonna beat our ass. Motherfucker was
I have 5 different bowling balls and whatnot, like all the good stuff.
Embarrassing me, bro. We had all these women playing with us, and this man Woo is just stunning on me, just completely stunning on me. It was
one of those friends.
It was. I'll never forget.
When the women come around and turn up,
we had like
it was change for 100.
We were playing. It was like I think. It was like we were playing with like 3 women. It was like 2 or 3 women. Dave was playing with us. It was Day to Dave, me, and Woo, and like 3 women. I can't remember who they were, but we were all playing. We're just like talking and stuff, getting to know each other, and then Woo just starts like, I just should have just known, like the way he threw the ball the first time. I was like, oh yeah, we're screwed. He did the curve thing and got a strike. I was like,
I know how to hook it, but here's the thing,
Woo is good. Woo is insanely good.
Yeah, I know how to
I was more starstruck than anything because I was like, holy shit, I'm actually like in a room with people like I watch and like grew up watch for real. And when I met y'all at the park before we went to go bowl or whatever, I was like,
yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, like they just regular as hell, bet. And then when I started kicking and we started talking and shit, I was like, oh, we gonna bowl? Bet. I like bowling. I bowl back home.
But he didn't say it. He just said, oh yeah, I know how to bowl. He didn't say, oh yeah, I'm kind of really good at, I'm real nice at this. He was just like, yeah.
That one guy at the party who could actually dance. He's like,
Woo was hiding his he was hiding his power level. He hit his power level so slick too. He was so slick stick with it, dog.
Well, that's what I do though, because like when people see me, they think like I just play basketball. Like that's all that I do.
That's what I thought. I was like, here's Woo. Me and Woo are like the same stature, like tall, kind of lanky about it. I was like, all right, me and Woo probably play like the same style of this. I thought Dave was going to be the secret bowler. Dave ended up being ass. And then I was like, all right, I was like, all right. Then Woo out here just styling on it. It's like straight up doing like moonwalking and throwing in.
Why did you think Dave was going to be good at bowling?
I don't know why. I just assumed he like, I just assumed he'd be good. That's why.
Them niggas in Atlanta don't bowl. They scam and they trap.
That's trap in Atlanta. I just thought in my head, if you're good at skating, you're good at bowling. I don't know why. I just equate the two together.
Everybody who meets me thinks like I just hoop, but I'm like, dog, I'm a big ass nerd and I bowl. I do basically any and everything for real. Bowling just happens to be something that I picked up 2-3 years ago roughly, and I'm good at it, so I'm just sticking with it at this point. But playing with y'all, like I wasn't even taking it serious. I was just bullshitting.
See, that's how crazy. He wasn't even trying. Yeah, he said that shit was lightweight, bro.
If you made it to this part of the podcast, put in the comment section #MeetTheWoo. Let's go. Ethos met the Woo that night.
I met the Woo, bro. I was just like, damn.
Also, funny story about like PAX East or whatever. So like after we left, I think me, Ricky, Phantom, and all like everybody who I was with, we ended up going to a court to go play basketball or whatever. And Ricky didn't know that like, I really hoop for real. Like I was like in a men's league and doing all that shit. And they found out when we played 5-on-5 that I really hoop. He's like,
oh, you dusted them, huh?
I literally have videos like on my channel be like playing against Phantom like 1-on-1, like just bullshitting and whatnot. Like I actually do sports.
Oh shit!
It's
okay,
crazy. He get outside.
Right. Hey, you need to go against Ace. Hey, you need a 1v1 Ace.
Outside of this computer and all this stuff, I have a life and I touch grass. So like that's why I can talk the way I talk.
Hey, touching grass is great. Exactly.
It is.
I feel that. The show has gone over 2 hours, so we need to wrap this up because some of us, in fact, do have lives. Do we have anything else we want to add to the show notes before we wrap this one up?
No.
Did I forget any stories besides the Final Fantasy?
No.
No. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, you are the guest for episode 135. Woo. What is your closing statement for Game and Illuminati episode 135? Go.
Man, this was mad fun. Again, it's an honor to be on here with you guys. Thank you guys for having me. Make sure y'all sub to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Woozilla. We trying to get to 1K, please and thank you. Follow me on all my socials. I do have a link tree that I'll probably send to get posted somewhere. But yeah, it was fun. Make sure y'all check out my content and support my own podcast. I hope to have, TBH and JG on one day. We had Ethos on and it was funny as hell talking about Hogwarts and whatnot. So yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for having me.
Okay. JG, what's your closing statement for episode 135? Go.
Appreciate Woo for being on time. We always love our guests that are on time. You're definitely a special guest because you are the first person who are participated in the video style of our podcast. So you should be happy about that.
We don't know how it's gonna turn out till we see the file.
It might end up being terrible. I hope so.
I hope so. So that was dope. So I hope that everybody continue to support. We're finally on video. We got some other things in the works, but we're going all in on the podcast. So again, continue to support. If you didn't know what we look like, I don't know how, but it's not like we were hiding, but we're here. If you just watched the podcast, here we are in the flesh. And I just want to say, look at my tab, boy.
Oh,
got my tab on here. So
what is that?
We can't see it. Come on, hold on, stand up.
You're too light skinned. Gotta turn the lights down a little bit.
He said too light skinned.
Yeah, the lighting is good.
That's kind of fire. Okay, you got a sword?
Is it a sword and a flower?
Yeah, so it's a lotus flower. That's what my wife loves. She loves lotus flowers. And then I have JVJ for Justin, Vanessa, and Jubilee.
Real grown man shit going on.
Wow.
And I officially want to say that, because I sat through and got all this done, like this shit hurt like a mug. I'm the toughest person on this podcast, so just let that be known.
You already knew you was the toughest. That big anchor ass head you got. You got to carry that. Ethos, what is your closing statement for episode 135? Go.
Thanks, Smooth, for dropping by.
Violation.
Thanks, Smooth, for dropping by. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys. Hopefully this works. I don't know how the video is going to end up happening. I was like, the video was like stuttering and freezing and then catching up, so I don't know how this thing is going to do that. But if it ends up being clean, it'll be awesome. But yeah, thanks everybody for all the support and. Follow us on TikTok. That's what you were going to say, TBH. What's the TikTok?
Yeah, the TikTok is at GI Updates. That is our TikTok. Search us up, follow us. We need to get to 1,000 followers so that we can get a link in the bio. That way we can promote the actual podcast when we start uploading clips and stuff like that.
Read the link.
Read the link. As far as my closing statement, once again, thank you guys for coming through. If you're watching the video version at youtube.com/GI Updates, hit the like button. I was thinking about migrating the podcast over to anchor.fm because then we can upload the video to Spotify as well. And also I can reduce my bills because I'm still paying and there's free services. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to do that too. So I'm not promising, but if you're listening, there might be video for the Spotify version too. And then also be sure to follow us on Twitter. GI Updates is our Twitter. And then of course follow us all. I wish I would have made y'all names y'all actual Twitters instead of just y'all names, but I should have said that before we started recording. I don't know if you noticed.
Maybe.
I don't know. Shut the fuck up. All right, that's my bad. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video version of the podcast. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/GI Updates. That's how you get into the Discord. It's a one-time fee. If you can't afford to pay every month, it's cool. We don't kick you out. We just try to keep the trolls out by putting it behind the Patreon. And soon we might not even, well, actually, I'm not going to talk about that. Anyways, rate the show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. Hit the like button, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Game and Illuminati podcast. Peace.